I'm Carissa Williamson, and this has been Your Government in Action, a proud presentation of Bahamas Information Services. Join us on Tuesday evenings where we bring you highlights, coverage, and information as we continue to do what we do best, linking people and government.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paiswell Forbes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty. At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's Tuesday, May 6th, and you're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jiminita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Washington for a high-stakes meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. The visit comes amid escalating trade tensions, with Trump recently stating that the U.S. doesn't need Canadian imports such as cars, energy, or lumber. Carney, who campaigned on standing up to Trump, is navigating a tense bilateral environment marked by Trump's dismissive rhetoric about Canada's economic value and aggressive trade policies, including steep tariffs. Despite the tensions, both leaders showed symbolic gestures of friendliness upon Carney's arrival. While developing now, Prime Minister Philip Davis is in Washington, D.C., locked in high-stakes talks alongside Caribbean leaders. They're meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, pushing back on a wave of new tariffs rolled out by the U.S. That could impact economies across the region. Also on the table, Cuban nursing programs. The U.S. has raised serious concerns, and regional leaders are responding. Prime Minister Davis is set to return to Nassau tomorrow, but these talks could shape trade and diplomacy for months to come. Pop the cork and raise your glass. It's International Sauvignon Blanc Day. Today, wine lovers worldwide are celebrating this crisp, zesty white wine that's taken the globe by storm. From New Zealand's Marlborough region to France's Loire Valley, Sauvignon Blanc is known for its vibrant notes of citrus, green apple, and tropical fruit. It's the perfect companion for seafood, fresh salads, or just a sunny afternoon. So how can you join in on the fun? Grab a bottle of your favorite Sauvignon Blanc, invite some friends over, and toast to the world's most refreshing white wine. Cheers to Sauvignon Blanc, because every day should be a celebration. Coming up, get ready for the annual St. Joseph's Bazaar and Raffle. It promises to be quite exciting. Also, for you Vitamalt lovers, there is a new flavor in town, and we're working up a sweat today. It's all coming up in What's Trending. Stay with us.
Good to go. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, that's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, that is good to grow.
The Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation hosted its 4th annual Taste and Tell Food Expo on April 26th at the Western Esplanade.
We want to make sure Bahamians are represented, because when you go around the world, you don't see us. And so the more that we can import in our own, the better it would be. And I believe in buying Bahamian Because one thing about Bahamian, you're helping to generate the economy. And so that's what we want to do. We don't want to just be able to buy a foreign Jeffrey peanut butter or something. We could buy Eddie's peanut butter. You know, local is what we should be focusing on, because it's going to come time one day that we're not going to be able to get food from elsewhere. So we have to focus on us as Bahamians.
The event showcased over 40 Bahamian food processors from islands including New Providence, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Cat Island, offering a diverse array of locally made products such as jellies, jams, seasonings, sauces, juices, sea moss products, and wines.
This is my curry powder, my mom's recipe. This is my mango chutney. I've been making this for over 20 years.
Rain Punch is a new Bahamian beverage, and our latest flavor is the ginger lemonade, which is really popular. We're selling out actually.
Agriculture Minister Jomo Campbell was also spotted at the festivities, bravely sampling a few of the spicier offerings. And judging by the glisten on his brow, they definitely brought the heat.
What are we sampling here now? This is our gold pepper, pleasant chips, grown here in the Bahamas, made here in the Bahamas, packaged here in the Bahamas. I gotta take it and store a little pepper.
BAIC's initiative remains a driving force behind the rise of Bahamian entrepreneurship and culinary creativity, fueling growth and innovation across the nation's food industry. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Get ready for the hoopla, bingo, and an array of native dishes. St. Joseph's annual bazaar and raffle is about to unfold this Saturday, May 10th on the church grounds on Boyd Road. There will be food stalls, games, and activities, vendors, booths, and entertainment. In studio to share with us are organizers Leandria Albury and Chandris Ferguson. Welcome to What's Trending, ladies.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here with us. Now we're going to start with you, Leandria. This is an annual event for the church. Tell us how important this fundraiser is.
Yeah, it's very important for the church. This is our largest fundraiser for the year. It helps with things like maintaining our buildings, allowing us to do our outreach in the community. You know, we put on a soup kitchen on Saturdays, and there are, you know, various other community things that we do. So this fundraiser is a huge part of being able to do that important work.
Anything you want to add to that, Chadris?
No, that's correct. And, you know, with generally in the times we're in, it's important to, from a community aspect, we also keep in contact with the community. We're a part of the Baintown, Chippingham, Boyd Road, Farrington Road area, and for over 50, almost 60 years, we could date back to the late 60s, we've been having the bazaar, if not annually, at least almost every year. So it's also an important community event. That's the way we see it as well.
That's what people look forward to.
Yes.
So we know of the usual food, games, and activities, but break it down for us in terms of what patrons can expect, because you know people like to have a good time.
Yes. So we're going to get things kicked off with a grand opening. We have our local church band that's going to be there and do a performance for us. We also expect to have the Urban Renewal Band, as well as a John Canoe Rush Out for those of us that love our John Canoe. And so that'll get things kicked off. And then just on the grounds, you know, there are things for all ages. There's going to be a kiddie corner, so, you know, the parents can come and drop the kiddies off. We have a little wine and graze for the more mature folk. They can come in and enjoy various sorts of treats and wines also. And in addition to the overall fair raffle, the wine and graze will also have their own sort of raffle and prize giving. And then, like you say, just the regulars, you know, you can do hoopla. There are going to be sweets and treats. Our dinner tickets, little bites. You can get your conch fritters, conch salad, all of the things for all ages and all interests.
Everything everybody loves.
Yes, everything. Food, drinks, a good time.
So share with us some of the feedback you've gotten from your vendors and your sponsors. Like Chandris mentioned, this has been going on for almost 60 years. That's a long time. So I'd imagine you have some people that return with you every year, or maybe you have some new people this time around.
Right. I will tap on Chandris to share a little bit on
Okay,
that.
so when you look at some of our boots, like we have certain families who have, you know, taken ownership of boots. So whether they're good cooks or they are good at entertaining, normally, you know, folks have teamed up to do like our suppers. You know, there's a family, the lady is a local business person in our community as well. She's from DNC, so Thurston's, they're helping us do our suppers, which date back many years. You know, over the years, different groups took that on, but she's taken that on. We also have families who are doing the conch salad, so they have their own spin there. They're taking that on. We have our men's group who do normally the sodas, and they're also gonna do, what Leandra mentioned, the Sip and Grace. We also know a lot of men and women like dominoes, so there's gonna be a domino tournament. If people, like we say, want to just come by and relax and play dominoes all day, they can do that as well. Also, we have a lot of donors. You know, some remain anonymous when we talk a little more, like you spoke on the raffle.
That's the next point that we're going to get into. Obviously, people are excited about the raffle. So talk to us about these exciting prizes that persons can hopefully win.
Right. So, you know, the raffle is the main draw because we have a wonderful 2025 Kia Sonnet, brand new, not driven off the lot.
New brand, as Bahamians
New brand, as the Bahamians will say, doesn't have 1 mile on it. When they get the key, that will be theirs to break in, as they say, on the road. So that will be coming from our local dealership, and that will be part sponsored by the church and donors. We have other wonderful prizes, trips. We have vouchers for like BPL, travel. We have local cooking gas, car gas, cell phones. All these have been generously donated by members of our church or other members in the community. Like Leandra said, with the other stalls, we also are going to have prizes and surprises.
Well, thank you so much, Leandria Chandris, for joining us on What's Trending today. And we wish you much success at St. Joseph's Annual Bazaar and Raffle on the weekend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, it's the classics that has introduced a new flavor. That and more on the other side of the break.
You've got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
For us at the Myers Group of restaurants, we found that we have a pretty large portion of our employment pool that had difficulty getting bank accounts.
The issue we had previously was just getting cash, getting funds on the island. And with only one working ATM, the idea of the sand dollar just in being digital, and everybody has a smartphone nowadays, it actually worked into our favor.
The sand dollar was like a godsend because it allowed us to add it to our payroll system, which means we're able to send their money to the sand dollar wallet.
It's still a bank transfer because you get an account number. So from the employer side of things, all I have to do is send your funds just as usual.
It opens up our pool for us to be able to hire some of the people that we couldn't hire before because they were unable to open bank accounts. This has been a really good solution.
Diet-friendly special.
just turned up the flavor dial, and vanilla is the smooth new twist shaking up the Caribbean malt scene. Launched just last week, this creamy, bold, and refreshingly different edition is already stirring taste buds and making headlines. And guess what? The Bahama Beauty got the inside scoop.
We caught up with Jesus Lopez, regional manager for Vitamalt in the Caribbean, who shared why the Bahamas was chosen as the launch pad for this flavorful first sip. Spoiler alert, it's more than just the sun, sand, and sea. It's about flavor-savvy fans who know a good malt when they taste one.
Bahamas was chosen as the premier market because for over 25 years, Vitamalt has become a staple in every single Bahamian household. The level of support and love that the brand has gotten has been fantastic. So it is just natural for us to be able to select the Bahamas as the premier market for this launch.
Andre Walt, Director of Marketing and Partnerships at CBL, dished on how this sweet collaboration came to life.
Commonwealth Brewery, we are a strategic partner of Royal Beauty Brew, our partner in Denmark, and we've collaborated together on this innovation from the very, very beginning. All of the concept testing, the research, everything has been done here in the Bahamas to figure out what is the right flavor profile, the right branding, and the right way to communicate this new innovation to our esteemed consumers and customers.
Danielle Smith, Vitamalt's vibrant brand rep, gave us the inside pour on what makes this vanilla flavor stand apart from the rest.
This flavor is all about no added sugar. We offer our consumers 12 grams of sugar, which is 72% less than our original classic flavor Vitamalt. So it's obviously it's a healthier version than what our consumers are now experiencing. The older you get up in age or when you want to curb and be more health conscious, these products offer a more wealthier, healthier option for you.
Of course, the big question on everyone's lips, will the Family Islands get to taste the magic too? We went straight to Denzel DeVoe, Senior Portfolio Manager at CBL, who hinted that there's something brewing for malt lovers beyond Nassau.
Because we're 700 wines and spirits, and we're basically 42 stores in total, in the total Bahamas, so we're going to have those stores act as our channels for the Family Islands. But in New Providence, we're going to work with our partners at AML, as well as Super Value, and also we're going to work with the government.
And finally, what's next for Vitamalt? One thing's clear, they're just getting started.
One of the pillars of Vitamalt is innovation. So we are always on the lookout to introduce new products that will satisfy the curiosity of every single malt consumer in the Bahamas. So you should expect new additions, but always in this new low, no sugar.
If you haven't tried the vanilla yet, what are you waiting for? Get out there and grab one. It's deliciously different.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
We all have different body types, and when it comes to fitness, one size definitely doesn't fit all. Understanding your body type can be a game changer in helping you to set the right goals, choose the right workouts, and avoid unnecessary frustration. Let's break it down with some expert insight. Joining us to bring more clarity to understanding what one may want for their body type is personal trainer Theodore Pyfrom. Welcome to What's Trending, Theo.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you with us. So let's start with the basics. What are the main body types or shapes, and how do they differ when we think about fitness?
Well, there are many things to consider when it comes to different body types, shapes. I can go on and on about that. But you may have heard people talk about having a pear shape, more of a slender shape, and then there are some that are pyramid shaped, where they're less body weight at the bottom, a little heavier at the top. All around that, we all have the same body mechanics.
Yes.
All right? So though you may shape this way or that way, our bodies are meant to move as one.
So why is it important to know your body type before you start your fitness journey?
It's important to know your body type so you don't have a false goal or an image of yourself in mind, or a desire to look a certain way when it's not really realistic. Yes.
Okay.
So it's important to, know who you are before you try and go out there, because there's so much noise and so much to see, you can easily get caught in that wave.
So can someone's body type change, or is it mostly fixed? Like some people feel like, well, that's how I born, that's how I shape, but I can't do nothing about it. Is that true?
Well, it's 50-50. The body shape may not change, but you have the power to contour it, whether it has more fat or more muscle, and then you can work on different body or different muscle groups to enhance the look or the appearance of the body. So I'll tell you no lie, all of us have a good shape, but it's how we dress it, sculpt it, how we present it.
So as a new person starting out in a gym, what are some of the easier workouts that you'd want to think about when you're looking at your body shape and thinking about your fitness goals and your expectations?
Yes, well, for all the beginners, when I get a new client, the first thing is to see where their mobility is at, their flexibility, and then see how well they are with managing their own body weight.
Okay, so for example, what would we do? Because we're still gonna talk.
Okay.
But we need to see some examples of what you're talking about.
Perfect.
So give me an idea of what do you...
Stretching, simple mobility exercises. It can go so far, and we all need it. I like to go hands on the knees. A lot of people experience lower back pains and hip pains. You can pivot, look up to the sky, push against the right knee, try to keep the body fixed in one position.
Okay.
And then we rotate to the opposite side. Look over the shoulder. 3, 2, and 1.
And so we stay in limber. So different body types obviously would respond differently to the workouts that I guess you plan for them. Okay, so what are the exercises that we can do? But also talk about the importance of diet and nutrition. That's a key element too. So how does that factor into this whole discussion?
Let me hit you with another exercise.
Okay.
Everybody can hopefully do, and if you need some support, you can always grab a stick, the edge of a chair. It's a simple squat.
Okay.
Let's go hands out front to help you keep a little stable. Pretend that there's a glass of water on your head. Don't spill it, bend the knees, sit. Keep the weight distributed in your heels, abs tucked, and stand. Nice and slow at the top of the movement, squeeze on thighs. Pretty simple.
So it's easy, and you get the good workout for your
total body.
All right, that sounds good. So how can someone figure out their body type and if they're not sure what category they fall into? You talked about the pyramid, the pear shape, how do you know?
Well, in this day and age, you can simply Google a chart and you know yourself, and there are a few to compare with. And once you've figured out which body type you are, then you can be settled with that and know and search for what exercises, best suits your body type.
Okay. But you can challenge yourself as well. You can't stay in that little...
Yeah, I would say never to box yourself in, and I've seen amazing things happen to people that you would look at and say, well, she's not or he's not capable, so never box yourself in. And the main important thing, just start.
That makes sense. So what other exercise we can do when we think about some of the common mistakes that people make when they don't consider their body type and their fitness plans?
Well, let's go to the foundation, and I like to promote it a lot, posture. Posture is a huge part of actually executing an exercise properly or incorrectly.
Okay.
So when you think about posture, I like to use national anthem. When everybody stand up straight at national anthem, chest tucked in, they're like robotic. That's good posture.
Right.
From there, you can start your exercise and you'll be sure to have a safe and enjoyable movement.
Okay.
Bad posture, the example, you know, just not mindful of what's happening around you, and you're just like, and I see it a lot.
So it's a key thing that is key in terms of the smartphones, because you're just like this all day, your neck gets stiff half the time, even your eye, it affects your eyes.
Yes, and listen, most of our heads are 13 to 15 pounds.
That's
some bigger, but think about spine supporting that big head all day. You want to try to relieve the neck and stay a little more upright.
So what is a key, I guess, exercise that we could keep in mind when we're thinking about proper posture?
Yes, core engagement.
Okay.
We always hear this term, the core, the abs, but it's really just squeezing on the innermost part of your abdominals.
Okay, so you're sucking everything in.
Not sucking in to hold your breath, but think of this. There's about to be a huge impact to your stomach, that feeling of bracing. To avoid pain or hurt from that impact is the core activating feeling.
Okay.
Can you think of it?
Yeah. Yeah, the brace.
Yes, the brace. So that's what you want to keep in mind.
Okay, well, that's something easy
That's easy. Think about it, and it'll blend right into your brain.
Makes sense. So for someone who is just starting out, what's a good first step in aligning their workouts with their body type? Like if you had to gauge my body type, what would be a good place for me to start as a beginner in the gym?
Well, I would say strength training for everybody. Everybody needs strength training. Some people try to avoid it because they have this theory that they might get too bulky or too masculine, but strength training is a must.
Okay.
Based on your body type, if you're somebody that has, you know, bigger legs and a nice slender upper body, we're definitely gonna hit you on some leg exercises like squats, leg raises, leg presses, some mobility, and
so combination approach to it.
Definitely.
All right, so any more exercises that you want us to cover before we move on?
Sure. Before I say that, or before I show you that, I would like to say, I totally forgot, but anyway, let's go to that exercise.
Okay.
It slipped my mind. Right there, we're gonna go arm up, reach back, grab the elbow. That's a nice lat stretch. A lot of people don't consider the amount of tension that gathers there in the lat, and that can cause shoulder pains, even neck pains.
Okay.
Reach up, behind,
next side.
And
so it's a good stretch. So at the end of the day, how much should we focus on our body type versus just building healthy habits?
Well, I would say healthy habits tops having, you know, your body type. Because no matter how you look and how you shape, it mostly comes down to how you feel and how healthy you are internally, you know, and what you put into it. Because they say you are what you eat.
This is true. Well, thank you so much for joining us on What's Trending today, Theo. It's been informative and it's been fun. But until next time, there is so much more right up after the break.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Did you know you could send a local bank transfer to a $1 wallet? It's the same as sending a transfer to an account at another local bank. Simply use the wallet's 12-digit top-up address as the account number, savings as the account type, Central Bank of the Bahamas as the bank, and $1 as the branch with branch code or transit number 12,000. Don't use urgent or priority delivery. Transfers to Sand Dollar wallets are processed through the Bahamas Automated Clearinghouse Network within 1 business day.
Diet-friendly special.
On Wednesday's show, learn more about how the Bahamas is battling the autoimmune ailment of lupus. And as the anniversary of the HMBS Flamingo sinking approaches, we look back through the eyes of Captain Fernley Palmer, who knew the victims well. And that's how we wrap up another trending day. Thanks for hanging out with us here on What's Trending. Remember, the conversation never stops. Catch up with us on Instagram at What's Trending at ZNS. Share your thoughts and let us know what you think should be trending next. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more headlines, highlights, and heat. Until then, stay curious and most of all, stay connected.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. Maternity leave extension closer to becoming a reality for working mothers. Plus, the Member of Parliament for South and Central Abaco gives an update on the massive fires burning across the island. And a man is speaking out tonight to clear his name after someone with the same name was charged with a serious crime.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news, a possible extension to maternity leave by an additional 2 weeks could soon become law as the Bahamas prepare to align with international standards. The executive director with the Ministry of Labor shares the details in this report.
Maternity leave no less than 14 weeks.
Maternity leave extension from 12 to 14 weeks could soon become a reality, possibly as early as 2026.
Be closer to signing off on the convention with the goal basically of addressing the question of maternity leave, breastfeeding, and so forth, and also looking at a national program on occupational safety and health.
The International Labor Organization's Convention 183, known as the Maternity Protection Convention, mandates a minimum of 14 weeks maternity leave, with at least 6 weeks taken after childbirth.
Once your country signs on these conventions, it's expected that within a year, you would convert those conventions into law.
Executive Director in the Ministry of Labor, Quinton LaRota, confirms that the groundwork is now being laid for the Bahamas to ratify the convention.
Through legislation, they make an ILO convention that happened in Geneva a reality in the Bahamas. If you have some difficulty in after you sign on and creating it into law or some challenges, ILO will send you technical support.
Once ratified, the convention would be brought before Parliament. LaRota says he anticipates no resistance from the government as Minister of Labor, Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, continues to champion maternity leave reform and broader workplace health and safety improvements.
I don't think with OSH and the extended maternity leave, I don't think that has been controversial in any quarter in the country, except that some concerns may have been expressed by some employers, but not even much kickback from the employers.
And it's not just mothers who may benefit. LaRota says they're also exploring the possibility of making paternity leave a part of national policy.
And I believe that it would be given serious consideration, particularly since some pioneers has already established it as a part of their industrial agreements.
Well, as the Bahamas, along with other countries, brace for the economic impact of the Trump administration's tariff, CEO of Fidelity Bank Bahamas, Gowan Bo, says the country would have been better positioned if we had a national development plan. His comments come as some have said the Bahamas is in a wait-and-see mode as officials monitor to see the extent to which the country will be impacted. Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, told reporters Thursday that Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, along with regional leaders, will discuss the tariffs at a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio this week.
Had we done so, we would have been in a mode of executing alternate strategies that we would have devised, and we would have been better prepared for the fallout that is inevitably going to take place because it's happening globally. And so I think there's some things that we need to do nationally. Our savings plan with our citizens, our teaching on the debt management to ensure that you're not extending yourself in debt, particularly in times of good, so that when you have times of bad, you have borrowing capacity.
Bo says if there is an economic slowdown due to the tariffs and trade wars, it will lead to a recession that is not necessarily negative. Instead, he says it is generally a correction to the overheating of the economy, acting as a stabilizer. He says recessions usually occur every 10 years, adding that the COVID-19 pandemic drove inflation.
If you will, hyperventilating and overheating of economies around the world because of actions taken to stimulate economic activity during the significant downturn from the global pandemic. And so a recession is actually inevitable to correct some of this price increase and some of the exuberance that has taken place. It's better to say what we're hoping for is a short recession, one that is somewhat V-shaped, meaning that it decreases and hits rock bottom but starts a very sharp increase so that the pain that is felt is short-lived.
In other news, Grand Bahama Shipyard Limited has appointed retired Rear Admiral Chris Earl as its new Chief Executive Officer, effective today, succeeding Dave Scantlebury, who retires after nearly a decade with the company, including 8 years as CEO. Earl, a 35-year veteran of the Royal Canadian Navy, brings extensive experience in shipyard operations, naval maintenance, and procurement. He most recently led key naval and commercial programs at Seaspan Shipyards in Victoria, Canada, and previously commanded Canada's West Coast Military Ship Repair Yard. Earl joins the shipyard during a pivotal $600 million expansion project backed by Royal Caribbean Group and Carnival Corporation, which will add 2 state-of-the-art floating docks by 2026. The upgrade is expected to reestablish Grand Bahama as a top-tier global cruise ship repair hub and generate billions in economic value over 25 years. Both Jason Liberty, Royal Caribbean, and Josh Weinstein, Carnival, praised Earl's leadership and expertise, calling him the right person to lead the shipyard into its next phase. Earl said he's excited to be a part of the transformation that supports a global maritime needs and boasts the local Bahamian economy. The leadership change also honors the legacy of Scantlebury, whose vision was central to the shipyard's revitalization. Well, firefighters and volunteers on Abaco are still battling a blaze that is threatening the communities of Spring City and Bahama Palm. Our ZNS News team is on the ground with the latest. Yolanda, what can you tell us?
Now, Romiko, from Saturday, a blaze on Abaco intensified in multiple communities, leaving volunteers and firefighters battling for days. Tonight, the Member of Parliament for Central and South Abaco, John Pinder, weighing in on what he believes is causing these fires as he thanks these brave men for their commitment to ensuring that the community remains safe. Several communities across Abaco have been battling persistent fires for weeks, and the situation remains ongoing. At some points, firefighters battled up to 5 fires in different areas, but despite being in the dry season, there are those who believe that arson may be involved to some extent. It was a question we posed to the Member of Parliament for Central and South Abaco, John Pinder.
We've noticed that fires are starting upwind in places that were not affected before. Fires don't go upwind. So I'd like to say a plead out to keep your eyes open and be vigilant. If you see anybody doing mischief in the forest with fire, please contact the police. As police investigations are ongoing to determine the source of the fire, firefighters and volunteers continue to battle the blaze with the additional resource of a water aircraft playing a vital role in saving life and property. Sunday, we got the plane on the ground. He flew 9 hours from the States to get here. It directly went back in the air and dumped over 7,000 gallons that night and continued sunrise the next morning. This plane, along with the 5 or 6 trucks from different communities in Abaco that came together to fight these fires, were instrumental and critical in stopping this fire from taking any homes, businesses, or residents. The aircraft suppressing the flames from above allowed volunteers to tackle a fire at its source, but many throughout the Bahamas are commending the men for their act of bravery and courage. I want to give a special thank you to the Marsh Harbor Fire and Rescue, who's the point person on the ground, and all of our brothers and sisters from other volunteer fire and rescue communities, including Treasure Key, Cherokee, High Banks, Bahama Palm Shores, Hopetown Fire and Rescue, Man of War, and so much more. Now, Romiko, despite these raging fires causing damage to vehicles and properties, the good news is no lives were lost as a result of these fires. Live from Abaco, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest. Back to you.
Thanks so much for that report, Jolanda. Well, in other news, a total of 59 traffic fatalities were recorded countrywide in 2024, with 7,571 traffic accidents recorded in the nation. While police on Grand Bahama are doing their part to see those numbers drop in 2025. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
Police are making a concerted effort to cut down on traffic accidents, making their presence felt on the Coral Road corridor early Monday morning, also issuing a number of traffic tickets for various infractions. This is after Grand Bahama recorded 10 traffic fatalities in 2024 and a total of 799 vehicular accidents that same year. Operations Inspector for the Traffic Division, Inspector Lou Johnson, says it is particularly important motorists adhere to speed limits in school zones.
Between 8 and 9, 2 and 4, speed limit is 15 miles per hour once you're traversing through the school zones. You have some areas where there are signs posted. After that time is within the 30-mile-per-hour zone. 45 where there are no signs posted. And there are some areas that you actually have the 45-mile-per-hour sign indicated. Anything over that, then you're in breach of the speed limit and you're subject to be stopped and issued a citation.
Grand Bahama saw a 3% rise in accidents last year compared to the 7,371 the year before.
Uptick in accidents, we've had quite a bit. Accidents with injury, hit and runs, and just regular fender benders. Most of it, too, is due to negligence, use of electronic devices and things that you should not be doing while driving.
Aside from adhering to the speed limit, Johnson is offering this advice to the motoring public.
Drive for one another. Be mindful of what laws have been amended. Having your driver's license, your insurances present with you at all times when driving. Respect the traffic light signs. Proper use of the roundabouts. Seat belts for your safety.
The inspector reminds, drive to arrive alive, adding that driving above the speed limit can cost you a $100 ticket. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
A man is now clearing his name following public backlash after reports of a man of the same name was charged in the magistrate court yesterday. Police officials are now confirming that the two individuals are different people. Jalea Roll has the details.
They share the same name and the same birth year, but one, Kevin Miller, was hauled before the magistrate court with charges of sexual assault to a minor, while the other was left to deal with the backlash from the community who accused him of such an horrendous act.
I just need the world to know that the Kevin Miller that is posted is not me.
Kevin L. Miller, a respected citizen, was brought to tears after news broke about another 55-year-old Kevin Miller that is now leaving him to defend his name and reputation.
Everybody who would have seen that, I feel it's safe to say that they know that it wasn't me before any picture was circulating, so that was a sense of comfort.
Miller says that yesterday, upon the news report, friends and family members continuously called his phone asking if the man accused was him.
It's unbelievable. That's one of my friends. He said he almost passed out, and I'm pretty much feeling the same way.
But Miller says things became more disturbing when a picture of him, along with his children, started circulating on WhatsApp.
That in itself was very disturbing, but today it was, I guess, taken to another level because somebody forwarded a picture of myself. With my 2 daughters.
Now, law enforcement officials confirm that Kevin L. Miller is not connected to the sexual assault case and emphasizes that the accused is a separate individual with a similar name. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
And still to come.
The Public Hospitals Authority tackles a major issue as it hosts a domestic violence symposium. That story, plus sports and more when we return.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day. And don't forget the special offer from Cornet Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Cornet Bahamas.
Grand Lucayan invites everyone to the biggest and most elaborate Mother's Day Sunday brunch happening May 11th in the Grand Ballroom. Enjoy live music, food stations, giveaways, and special performances. Tickets are on sale now at the lobby. Call 373-1383 for more information. Calling all singers, musicians, songwriters, and music producers from Grand Bahama. The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites you to enter the Welcoming Home Grand Expo Song Competition. Win $5,000 for first, $3,000 for second, and $2,000 for third. Go to ministryforgb.com for competition eligibility and guidelines. Looking for unbeatable tech deals? Foresight IT Professionals has desktops from $298, laptops from $238, POS systems from $498, CCTV systems from $298, tablets from $148, and more. Call 602-0946 or visit number 11 4-Way Co-op Plaza today.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. On the cusp of Social Worker Month, the Rand Memorial Hospital decided to educate the public on how prevalent domestic violence is, bringing professionals from private and public sectors to address the role each agency plays in mitigating the fight against domestic violence.
It's not
in a faucet. Everybody, from the nurses, the doctors, the social workers, the psychologists, the crisis center personnel, we all play a role in supporting the victims and rehabilitating the survivors.
As stakeholders, we have the capacity to strengthen the protection laws as it relates to domestic violence, as well as to improve reporting systems for domestic violence and to ensure that there are access available to survivors of domestic violence.
Social worker Keshia Morris, along with the hospital administrator, emphasized the vital role that every agency plays in addressing and reducing the rise of domestic violence.
We think of sibling abuse, we just think of it of just siblings playing around. But sometimes that abuse escalates and it goes unseen because we don't know the warning signs or we trivialize it. A lot of times you feel helpless and hopeless in a situation, and it's simply because you don't know. You don't know that there are people out there, that there are departments and resources.
It is important for educators, social workers, law enforcement, and the wider community, the church and civil society, because all of us play a role in disseminating the information.
Beyonce Forbes' pageant journey began in high school when she competed in the Miss St. George's High School pageant. Although she didn't take home the crown, Forbes remained determined and continued pursuing her passion for pageantry, later participating in 5 more. Today, she is a contestant in Miss Universe Bahamas, a testament to her unwavering perseverance. Forbes credits her resilience, something she believes is deeply rooted within her, for bringing her this far. She now champions a platform called She-Evolve, which is dedicated to empowering and inspiring women to keep pushing forward no matter the obstacles.
I wasn't sure of my purpose. I wasn't sure what route I wanted to take in life. And I feel that pageantry has allowed me and helped me in navigating life and navigating where I want to be. That's why my platform now is She-Evolve, and it represents that young lady starting out, that young lady that isn't really sure. She doesn't know what she wants to do. She doesn't have the resources. She doesn't have the support. And she just doesn't have the confidence. So my platform is based around just empowering and cultivating that young woman.
Forbes shares that this is her 2nd time competing in Miss Universe Bahamas, and she's determined to make Grand Bahama proud. Her preparation involves rigorous training sessions, social appearances, interviews, and even working out twice a day. Despite the demanding schedule, Beyonce says it's the glitz and glam that she truly loves about the pageant world. She also expresses her gratitude to the Miss Universe Bahamas organization for their continued kindness and support toward women.
At the business symposium, because we do have a number of entrepreneurs on board with this pageant journey this year. So I can say for myself that the organization is doing the best that they possibly can do, and they are definitely pouring into us and working with us, you know, to push us and improve us as individuals. There's a lot that goes into the preparation, but my favorite part would be wardrobe. My final gown, I can't say too much, but just know Grand Bahama will be proud. I'm definitely going out there and leaving it all on the stage.
Certainly wish you good luck, and that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's happening in sports?
Miko, there's a new flag football league that emerged on Grand Bahama. This time, not with adults, with kids. We'll have those highlights coming up in sports next.
All right, that's coming away next, but first a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites residents and Grand Bahamians everywhere to unite and celebrate our beautiful island in grand style at the Welcoming Home Grand Expo, July 2nd through 10th. It's a week of events that you cannot miss. Save the date and get ready for Welcoming Home.
Grand Bahama.
Bahama. For one day only at Dolly Madison on May 10th, get 30% off all Mother's Day items. That's aisle 7, 8, and 9 from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Get your 30% off voucher. You have until 3 p.m. only to use that 30% off voucher. But from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., get 25% off the same aisle. From houseware to bathroom to bedroom, even lawn and garden to fishing to automotive. Happy Mother's Day. But starting now, spend $100 or more and fill out your ticket for a chance to win a Mother's Day basket. Mother's Day fever is taking over at Dolly Madison.
Please game responsibly. Don't take your paycheck every week, cash it, and head to the number house. Don't sit on the computer and spin for hours while life passes you by. Before you know it, you will be down to your last $20. Your family depends on that money. Your family depends on you. Problem gambling destroys lives and families. This message is brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas, reminding you to gamble responsibly.
A new era is dawning in Grand Bahama. An opportunity, it's knocking louder than ever. Introducing Tract B, Bahama Reef Yacht and Country Club, Unit 1. A prime corner commercial property, footsteps from the Port Lacaya Marketplace, crystal clear waters and white sandy beaches. This expansive 4.8-acre tract is zoned for commercial and multi-use development. Envision a thriving restaurant, a boutique hotel, or an entertainment hub unique to your vision come to life. You can live, work, play, and learn in paradise when you seize this rare opportunity today. Collaborate with DEFCO and let's shape the future of Grand Bahama Island together.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top and Sports Shockwave. Elite 5-on-5 Flag Football League is in its first year on Grand Bahama. Games are played on Saturdays at the Salvation Army playing field, with the first game beginning at 11 a.m.
I really like how the kids are developing, more so in their character. I think reality set in, like, this is what football is about, and it's a long season. And the trick is, too, with, like, football, like, once you lose, you carry that in for a whole week until next week. It's good to see the parents getting more into it. It's good to see more spectators coming out to see these young kids ball out, to actually see the league growing, so that's a plus. And I'm really happy when I see a lot more parents involved and actually watching their kids and cheering their kids from the sideline, so that makes me really happy.
3 games played on Saturday, with the Grizzlies winning against the Buccaneers 32-30. In Game 2, the Warhawks took down Grain Machine 38-12, and the Rebels defeated the Thunder 45-12.
I think we did good, but we could do better. We got to get our defense up, flag pulling, and defense drills and all that stuff in practice.
Next in sports, high school soccer action over the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. Sunland Stingers got the win over Jackie with 3-0 in match play.
I feel like the team played very well, a bounce back game from when we lost top knuckle, just coming back strong, just staying, together as a unit. And it was a great win as a team. But as a player, I feel like I played great, because my team was backing me up mostly. Every time when I made a mistake, they would say to pick me up, and we just communicated. So
Quacious Hall still had high hopes for his team, even in a losing effort.
We got to work on feeling the sense of urgency required to really go after the ball as the ball in transition, because we was really losing morale with what was happening. And then we got to learn to really control the ball. And the ball wasn't really being pushed. The ball was stagnant in one half of the pitch. So we got to learn to really move that around and push it up as we should.
And finally in sports, scores some Rising Stars Little League softball FES hitters shut out the Crushers 7-0 in 16U action, and Bethel's Batitudes dominated the Astros 9-1 in 10U play. Ladies and gents, that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues. Here's a live look at them now.
This week, our future track and field stars will compete at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in the Frank Pancho Ramming National Primary Schools Track and Field Championship. Catch all the action on the ZNS Network on Tuesday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. and on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. It's the Frank Pancho Ramming National Primary Schools Track and Field Championship, May 6th through 8th, right here on the ZNS Network.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like in our communities, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marlena Leonard and LaDon Davis. 7:30, Monday to Friday. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, global uncertainty has tourism officials laser-focused on keeping the Bahamas ahead of the competition. Also, the Office of the Prime Minister shuts down claims of an early election and reassures the Bahamian people the Davis administration remains focused on governance. And firefighters battle yet another blaze in the capital as residents help by springing into action to help protect their homes. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Devontae Hanna, filling in for Makushla Pinder. Now, topping news tonight, strong partnerships, bold promotions, and growth-driven. And on the other hand, global shifts, rising costs, geopolitical tensions, and evolving economic policies are now forcing local tourism officials to work around the clock to capitalize on opportunities that will hopefully boost tourist numbers heading into the busy summer months. Makushla Pinder reports.
The demand for the Bahamas remains high.
Tourism officials aren't letting the fall off in first quarter figures dampen plans to retain the country's coveted spot as a premier destination. As reported, the Bahamas pulled in 3.3 million visitors between January and March, a 9% uptick over where things stood the same time last year. Of that figure, some 2.8 million tourists were cruise passengers, an increase of 11.5%. On the other hand, though, air arrivals are at 487,000, a 3% shortfall. In the case of stopover visitors, a 4% drop.
I think that the first thing that we look at is uncertainty. From a geopolitical perspective, there's been some shifts. What I'm really excited about is that the impact has only been 4% from the stopover perspective. Amidst the uncertainty, there's also opportunities. Because of our strong global relationships, it makes the Bahamas very attractive for the U.S. market, the Canadian market, the European market, the Latin American market. And so we've doubled down. And so for us, with all of our targeting campaigns, it's important that we remain top of mind.
And according to Tourism Director General Atia Duncombe, this calls for charting a steady course forward, keeping a keen eye on its larger and more influential source markets like the United States, Canada, Europe, and the UK, and Latin America.
Our recently concluded Instant Savings campaign drove strong bookings, while brand activations such as the Times Square takeover, out-of-home advertising Lenny Kravitz, and a robust digital strategy helped to keep the Bahamas top of mind. New routes from Ottawa and Halifax and added summer capacity from Montreal are now in place, offering greater accessibility. British Airways anchors connectivity, and we continue to collaborate with key tour operators supported by out-of-home and multilingual campaigns. With tailored messaging, enhanced connectivity through key regional hubs, and consistent trade engagement, we're positioning the Bahamas for sustained growth and increased visitor flow from Latin America.
The end goal is to keep the Bahamas up front and center. After all, second and third quarter tourism numbers depend on it. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Makushla Pinder.
Well, thank you for that report, Makushla. Well, the Prime Minister among regional leaders wrapping up talks today with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on matters of mutual interest. This includes border controls, illicit trafficking, financial services, as well as the still contentious issue of Cuban nurses. According to OPM Press Secretary Keishla Smith, the Prime Minister is keen on getting clarity on the matter. This as the U.S. alleges the labor export program is nothing more than a scheme to facilitate human trafficking and labor violations.
He does also want to make it very clear that the Bahamas does not participate or support human trafficking, forced labor, or anything of that sort. Our standing as Tier 1 in the latest human trafficking report issued by the United States bears that out. Prime Minister returns to the capital tomorrow, and of course, we should have some feedback on the outcomes of that meeting at that time.
Meantime, assertions by opposition leader Michael Pintar that the Prime Minister is looking to call an early election are being shut down tonight. OPM Press Secretary Keishla Smith told reporters the nation's chief has given no indication that he plans to call a snap election, noting he plans to continue to fulfill the PLP's 2021 Blueprint for Change.
He continues to work on key objectives like lowering the cost of living, improving the quality of life for Bahamians. We can look at cost-cutting measures like the reduction in VAT, the big slash in electricity bills, the sourcing of food from new sources so that they aren't priced out of the reach of Bahamians, the constructions of homes here in New Providence and on the Family Islands, 120 completed and counting. So that is what the Prime Minister is focused on, and I would sooner focus on the more delivery of the objectives of the administration than an election date, including a very big announcement very soon.
All right, well, in other news tonight, after 4 decades as a member of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Dr. Raymond King officially leaves the organization on Thursday. The outgoing Commodore says he is satisfied that his contribution to national development will significantly impact the Defense Force's future. In this report, he tells our Altavis Munnings he is ready for the next step.
Managing the Defense Force's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and Hurricane Dorian in 2019 were two of the toughest jobs Defense Force Commodore Raymond King faced during his 5.5-year term at the helm. Simply put, it's a part of his legacy that he describes as a servant of the people.
Every day I came to work, determined and committed to give it my best. And every day I left this office, I left satisfied that I would have given it my best in terms of not only the safety and security, in terms of border management.
As a strong advocate of lifelong learning, Commodore King was the brainchild of several initiatives that propelled Defense Force operations, including developing the Center of Excellence and the Bahamas Maritime and Military Academy.
I accept that seasons come and seasons end. Evidently, I would have loved to continue those programs, to bring them to fruition. But as I mentioned a bit earlier, there are a number of officers, more than 65% in the organization, who would have been trained under my leadership, and more than, I'll say 40% now would have converted. They would have seen the vision, and they would more than likely be the justices to ensure continuation of those programs. So I leave the organization in good hands.
The Commodore contends his departure from the Defense Force is bittersweet, as his entire family has been rooted in the military organization since he joined in January 1987. But he's optimistic that his future remains bright.
And so I look forward with promise, great promise, of contributing, probably even on a grander scale, to development of this country. But it becomes a part of you. We would have developed friendships almost 40 years. And those friendships remain long after we would have exited the service.
Captain Floyd Moxey will officially succeed Dr. Raymond King as Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force during a command change ceremony this Thursday, May 8th, at the Defense Force's Coral Harbor Base. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
All right, thank you so much for that, Altaviz. Well, more fires here in the capital forcing residents into fear of losing their properties. We've got that and more. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay close.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
Already had that for lunch.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large size. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. ATC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Diet-friendly special.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
We're looking at a beautiful shot of Nassau Harbor. It's the sun setting. That shot courtesy of our drone pilot, Neville Smith. Thank you so much for that, Neville. Well, tonight, the latest in a string of bushfires ignited across the nation. 2 of them in the capital, leaving those residing nearby concerned and highlighting the need to minimize littering. Lloyd Allen reports.
The scene of the latest fire here in the capital. This is in the area of Unison Road, just off Carmichael Road. Fire officials were here, and this was just shortly after 12 on Tuesday. Now, they've contained the fire for the most part, but in pockets, in areas just like this, we see fire still continuing. And according to residents, this fire started from last night.
The fire started about 9 o'clock last night, and according to they was able to finish the fire last night, but it started again this morning.
Resident LaRouche Morley says from the start, residents assisted. And as for its cause,
I think it's the weather, because, you know, the fire's happening all about.
Morley expressed concerns for similar fires across the country.
Speaking to a friend yesterday in Abaco, she told me her property almost got burned down. There was a big fire.
Now, a similar fire also erupted in the East Street South area with an eerily similar circumstance, according to an eyewitness. Any advice for fire officials?
What they have to do is they got to remember climate is changing, so it's getting hotter. So more time and it'll be trash like glass balls, and once the sun hit the glass ball, it intends to light the bush.
Now, all fire officials are doing all they can to minimize these occurrences. We're also noting at these scenes elements like this, which are clear signs of human impact, and we're asking the public to simply take better precaution in protecting our country. Reporting from East Street South for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
All right, a busy morning for Lloyd there. Well, as fires like those persist in country, it raises a number of questions on preparedness. Well, in response, opposition leader Michael Pintard is suggesting an overhaul of emergency response services. He argues the introduction of independent fire department may be the missing link to better protecting the country.
The fires on multiple islands, Grand Bahama, New Providence, Andros, Abaco, are really devastating for us at this time, where we must now find scarce resources to try and repair, in some cases, homes, businesses, livelihoods for Bahamians. And this tragedy with so many fires on different islands raises the concern about how do we, as a country, with a chain of islands, prepare for the unfortunate.
Well, speaking to that issue on the rundown on Monday, Assistant Commissioner of Police Moreno Hines countered, saying the capabilities of the fire department, along with improvements in the pipeline, are critical adjustments to further enhance the existing system.
Those men and women, they are highly skilled, as I asserted earlier, and they play 2 roles, along with myself and some other officers from the Fire Services Department. We traveled to Germany and Scotland with a view to acquiring some apparatuses for the family islands in particular. And I'm pleased to say in very short order, the Commissioner will announce that we're doing some very good things, and we believe that we're going to bring relief to many of our family islands.
All right, well, the country's postal service is undergoing a major transformation, and when completed, it is hoped the service will be, well, better in step with the 21st century global demands in both its services and customer experience. We go live to our Koval Pyfram, who is taking a look at this much-needed makeover happening at the Postal Service, and in this exclusive report, I'm told he's with the Acting Postmaster General. Koval?
Devontae, I walked down memory lane tonight. Over my shoulder is the Grantstown Post Office, itself temporarily closed. But there are those among us that can vividly recall a time when the post office played a crucial lifeline. And while our reliance has increasingly shrunk in recent years, the services offered here are nonetheless essential. I recently chatted with Acting Postmaster General Siobhan Johnson, and she is on a mission to restore its glory and also get it on good footing.
Some people have had really bad experiences with the post office in terms of getting the mail delivered on time, it not being destroyed, losing their bank books, and, wondering if their money is still in the bank. Sometimes we've had issues with fraud. But all of that is things that we're addressing through the modernization.
There are 10 post office locations on New Providence and locations in even the most remote places in the country. But Johnson says improvements must be made.
We're partially in rental spaces, and others we own, and others they're government buildings, administrative buildings. But some of them are not in the best shape, so we're focused on upgrading our facilities, making them more secure, and making them more functional in the community.
Johnson also has big plans for the post office savings bank, something a lot of people may overlook.
We pay the most interest on savings. We pay 5% interest on savings. Right now, it's capped at up to $6,000.
It's a service she believes is especially needed for Family Island residents. That's why she's pursuing getting that $6,000 savings amount cap lifted.
We want to go back to the days where people saved towards goal. You save for the rainy day, you save for retirement, the car, the house. You didn't necessarily just borrow. And so we're making it available to you through your savings plans.
And Johnson also tells us that a big part to improving services here is also investing in training. And that, she says, is happening as we speak for staff at the post office. Reporting live from the Grantstown Post Office here on Blue Hill Road for the Bahamas Tonight. I'm Corvell Pye from Let's Go Back Home. To you, Devontae.
All right, thanks, Corvell. Well, they're heroes of today, hoping to impact the leaders of tomorrow. The nation's nurses, that is, are out of the hospital and at a local school. We have the reason why. That and more right after the break.
This portion of the news.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Are you straight? Bro, I ain't getting no service. I can't make no calls. I can't post nothing on my stories. I don't get it.
Wait, you on a live? Shad, come, let's fix that. Come. This one needs saving. Pour them over, please.
Say less. Sign up today. Enjoy 5 gigs on us with select prepaid plans when you port your number to Alive, or 3 months free Alive fiber services when you port your landline.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
For us at the Myers Group of restaurants, we found that we have a pretty large portion of our employment pool that had difficulty getting bank accounts.
The issue we had previously was just getting cash, getting funds on the island. And with only one working ATM, the idea of the sand dollar just in being digital, and everybody has a smartphone nowadays, it actually worked into our favor.
The sand dollar was like a godsend because it allowed us to add it to our payroll system, which means we're able to send their money to the sand dollar wallet.
It's still a bank transfer because you get an account number. So from the employer side of things, all I have to do is send your funds just as usual.
It opens up our pool for us to be able to hire some of the people that we couldn't hire before because they were unable to open bank accounts. This has been a really good solution.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code. Select your payment amount and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
Welcome back. Well, it's Nurses Month, and those at the Princess Margaret Hospital chose a school to celebrate with a pep rally this morning. And if the group of nurses have anything to do with it, they say that they hope the students would one day enter their profession. Our Danielle Dean is on the story.
Every May, with the help of detailed, lively demonstrations intended to inform the public about the inner workings of nursing, the nurses give back to a group in the community. And Judith P. Thompson principal Katharina Williams couldn't be more grateful this year was their turn. As a survey shows, a number of her students aim to enter nursing.
I'm amazed at what they want to become, and we are here to share with them that the sky is the limit, that you have the potential within you, but there are some things that you must do, even from this age, to ensure that it happens. And this is a part of that holistic vision of empowering the next generation. Their theme is future nurses, and so I believe that we do have some future nurses in our community.
Nursing officer Candice Campbell advised that nursing is an ever-growing profession that requires more than just surface-level effort.
Once you come into the profession, you have to be prepared to be a caring person, an understanding person, and a person who is willing to always advance your skills.
But little sixth grader Kamaya Curry is more than up for the challenge.
I'm very gentle with people. I love kids, and I love to have fun. I really saw my mom. She was like practicing to be a nurse, and I wanted to follow in her footsteps, and I wanted to also help other people, and like I want to help babies to save their lives.
Deputy Principal Nursing Officer responsible for clinical services says nursing is not a walk in the park, but in the moments it's not.
Our job as leaders, nursing leaders, is to encourage our staff, incentives. There's not always pay involved, but sometimes persons just need to know that you are supported and that you are there for them, and whatever it is that we can do to assist them, we do that.
Okay, now let's say nurses roar!
Surrounded by our future nurses at Judith P. Taylor School, reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Such a beautiful story there, Danielle. Good job. Well, up next in Access Now, it's going to be a whole lot of entertainment and things for you to sit and watch. We have more in a moment, right after this.
Burying a loved one is never easy and can be a costly thing to do. NIB's funeral benefit can provide much-needed assistance during this difficult time. This one-time payment is made to the individual who paid for the funeral, or payment can be made to the funeral home in lieu of payment to an individual. To claim the funeral benefit, complete all fields of Form B51, Claim for Funeral Benefit. Provide banking details indicating where you would like your payments to be sent. A wire transfer form and a government-issued ID are required for persons residing outside the Bahamas. Ensure that your bank's branch transit number and bank account number are provided, not your debit card number. On islands where there are no banks, checks may be collected at the nearest NIB office. Lastly, the claimant must declare that all information is true. The beneficiary must be designated, and the form must be signed. The funeral benefit form is accompanied by a certified death certificate of the deceased, evidence of payment of funeral expenses, and the marriage certificate if the claim is being made on the strength of a spouse's contribution. The form should be submitted within 6 months after death of the deceased. For more information, visit the NIB website at nib-bahamas.com.
Throughout history, from bartering in ancient markets to the invention of paper currency, convenience has been at the heart of the way we pay. As time marched on, so have we, from barter to cash and cash to digital. Whether you pay with an online bank transfer, digital wallet, or contactless card, with digital payments, options abound. The world never stops evolving, and neither should you. Choose freedom, choose flexibility, choose convenience. The future of pay is digital. Visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media.
What you doing, man? I'm getting ready for this heat, boy. But you want to see what in this box? The ghost pepper chicken sandwich, boy. Get an apple pie, fries, and ghost pepper chicken wing. See it? You looking at me? Four. Yeah, boy.
Try our new Ghost Pepper Chicken Box today. Available for a limited time only.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Well, that does it for the national report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now, where I'm told it's going to be very magical. Stay tuned.
Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents the Legends of Breaking Straight. Get ready for the biggest names in Bahamian music live on stage. KB, Funky D, Gino D, D-Ma, Sweet Emily, Simeon Alton, Veronica Bishop, and more like the Singing Bishop. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road. Gates open at 6 p.m. General admission 80, VIP 120. Tickets available at Missouri, Bookie Brand at the Beauty Shack, low location. Skyboxes and Sky Pod. Call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Saturday, May 10th. Come by boat and play and experience the Legends of Breaking Straight. Brought to you by Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, ESC Distributors, Missouri, The Plug, The Beauty Shack, Bahamas City, Bookie Brand, and Caribbean Wines and Spirits.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, that's good enough to eat, that is good to grow. It's good enough to eat, that is good to grow.
Some 20 years ago, Randall Roll hung up his tools and walked away from his job as a plumber to follow his father's footsteps straight into the fields. Today, that bold leap of faith has blossomed into PJ's Farm, an agricultural haven in Exuma specializing in sugarcane, papayas, mangoes, and much more.
After working off, I came back and there wasn't like no farm produce or anything like that. So I said, we have a lot of land, why not make use of it? And I decided not to travel anymore, just stay and do something. And I just get in the farm, just from one thing to lead to the next.
But Roll's mission goes far beyond produce. He's now focused on inspiring a new generation of Bahamians to take up farming and give him some much-needed help on the farm.
My hopes is to get some youngsters in there to continue it. With me right now, with no help, everything is to get the young people to understand and join in with it.
And as the country makes efforts to reduce is import bill, he sends this advice to farmers across the nation.
Try to produce 90% and import 10%. And it makes us a great country.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
The Dundas Center for the Performing Arts receiving major renovations. Desmond Saunders is on the story tonight.
And bridging the gap between Jamaica and the Bahamas. Join Danielle Dean for her conversation with an executive of the Jamaica Tourism Board.
Plus, lovers of our four-legged friends gather for the inaugural pet conference. Stay close for that.
And coming up in sports, the opening day of the primary school track and field nationals.
Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Happy Tuesday, Marlena.
Happy Tuesday to you too, LaDawn, but I have a question for you. Do you believe in magic?
Well, I know we have a magician in the house, so I'm going to say yes. And be sure to tune in for that later on in the newscast. But for now, let's dive right into the news, shall we? The country's major theater company receiving a significant boost from the government as it undergoes major renovations. Desmond Saunders explains.
After a 5-year hiatus, the nation's premier performing arts theater, the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts on Mackey Street, is undergoing a major facelift. The center's executive team grateful for the government for providing over $300,000 to assist with renovations.
After the pandemic, we were shut down for 18 months. And when we got back into the theater and turned on the AC, because the building is totally closed, it died. So the first thing we needed to do was get that sorted out. So that was that was the beginning of our fundraising efforts. That hasn't even started yet because we had the roof damage from a tree falling on the roof during one of the hurricanes.
Major work currently underway to the theater's roofing and interior. The building's foyer and bathrooms also getting a major overhaul. Productions and events now being held in the 80-seat Philip Burrows Black Box Theater located at the rear of the property.
Over in the Winston Saunders Theater, the roof is being repaired. The two bathrooms are being done. The foyer is being done. We are now in what is called the Philip A. Burrows Black Box Theater. And this theater is about to be totally demolished and rebuilt.
As the Dundas fights to regain its footing, the center's artistic director, Philip Burrows, confirms plans are in the works to expand the facility with a new outdoor amphitheater and 3-story training center for artists.
Once we can open the doors again, we can start getting income from rentals, from other things, then we will further do stuff. We're still trying to raise money. There's still more things to happen. One of our biggest problems right now is the security of this building. And we need an entire wall to cover. I don't know if people know how big the Dundas property is.
With major renovations underway, the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts is appealing for your financial support. Your funds could go a long way in fostering the growth and development of culture in the Bahamas. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Thanks, Desmond. Well, there's a budding and beneficial partnership taking off between our nation's flag carrier airline and Jamaica. And a top tourism representative from the country is sharing his belief and excitement for all that's to come as a result. Danielle Dean has the details in this report.
As Deputy Director of the Jamaica Tourist Board, Philip Rose has his eyes set on doing what's necessary to bridge the gap between Jamaica and the Bahamas. He believes the budding relationship between the Bahamas' national flag carrier, Bahamas Air, and Jamaica has opened the door to great possibilities for both sides.
I'm very excited about the possibility of welcoming more Bahamians to the shores of Jamaica. And from a commercial perspective, I'm also very excited about Jamaicans having the opportunity to go on vacation in the Bahamas. The easiest way to accomplish this is obviously to increase airlift, and so Bahamas Air operating a flight between the two countries is music to my ears, and I have no doubt it's going to be a smashing success.
Rose's appointment, which took effect back in April of 2023, was praised by Jamaica Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett. He insisted Rose came equipped with 2 essential qualities: a love for country and a longing to see it thrive. According to Rose, every Caribbean nation, including Jamaica, should always seek to expand.
Well, despite Jamaica having probably the most tours and attractions in the Caribbean, despite Jamaica being the most diverse destination in the Caribbean, or even possibly the Western Hemisphere, and despite us having so many new hotels, new villas, new boutique properties, tourists have indicated that they want even more. People are no longer traveling just to escape weather. People are no longer traveling just to enjoy the sun, sand, and sea, but they're traveling and they're wanting to consume more of our culture.
The Jamaican says although the game-changing partnership with Bahamas Air is young and only one of the first steps, a bulb was turned on between the two countries, highlighting the beginning of a fruitful relationship.
The simple truth is, Bahamians, you're part of the Caribbean culture, you're part of the Caribbean community. Despite not being in the Caribbean Sea, but we're going to overlook that fact. And we do know that you love our music. And we do love much of what you have to offer also. So we just want, at the risk of sounding like it's a kumbaya and a hand-holding experience, we want to party with you. We've been neighbors for too long without having the opportunity to really engage and exchange in ideas. And now is the time for us to do so.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks a lot, Danielle. Well, the ZNS News team is on the move once again in Cuba, but this time giving us a taste of Havana at night. Felicity Darville takes us with her for a night of fun and entertainment.
It was a stunning night with top-class performances at Guajarito Restaurant, including 2 Grammy Award nominees and a Cuban national cultural hero. And when it was time for the Bahamians to take the stage, they sure did dance, including our very own cameraman, Utah Taylor Roll. Salute to Havana Nights. From Cuba for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Thanks, Felicity. And come on, Utah, we see you. Well, back at home, veterinarians, scientists, and pet lovers gathered at Goldwyn Resorts this weekend for the inaugural Pet Conference. The event, produced by the Bahamas Humane Society, is part of the Veterinary Medical Association's goal of exploring how new technology, including stem cell technology, is transforming animal care. Association President Dr. DeAndrea Delancey Milford says that this groundbreaking research will make caring for pets much easier than before.
Now, with stem cell therapy, you can have one injection treatment into the joint that could actually reestablish that joint, make them young again for arthritis. And you can also get stem cells injection into the eye and actually, fill in that ulcer, and there's no need to actually undergo surgery or long-term topical eye treatments.
At the conference, spouse of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Anne-Marie Davis, calling the event the perfect opportunity to educate the public on the future of animal care in the country.
We will be advocating for more humane practices with the introduction of this stem cell therapy, and we will also further educate people in our communities, letting them know that if their pets are ill, they don't have to give them up. There's hope to get them better with the advancement of stem cell therapies. So we can educate people more and encourage them more to adopt pets.
Well, still to come, award-winning balloon artist and magician Eduardo Daxon. Stay close.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day, and don't forget the special offer from Cornet Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Cornet Bahamas.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
You're looking at a shot of the Atlantis Resort on Paradise Island. The 154-acre property features the Royal, Coral, Cove, and Reef Towers. A gorgeous view, but it's time for us to catch a flight down to Eleuthera. Let's go.
Effective communication is a key component to the success of Bahamas Striping Group of Companies' mandate at its Silo hub in Roxanne, Eleuthera. The company is going digital. The organization has partnered with ATI Electronics to install its digital platform that will ensure the company can communicate with any individual or business nationwide. It took the owner and his son about 2 weeks to place the required wiring and satellites to power up this plant.
Supplied with power, solar power, just as well as internet ranging the entire plant and a secure infrastructure, network infrastructure. And this is our second time here. The first time we were here for about a week. We were here for about a week, and now we got another week going forward.
The electronics company has cemented a 10-year working relationship with Bahamas Striping, and they've seen how technology can truly transform a business.
Everything is pretty much a touch of a finger now, and staying in touch with one another is very important, just as well as communicating on a business stand front.
Well, have you ever wondered what it's like to say abracadabra and make someone disappear? Well, our guest tonight just might have that power. We welcome to the show award-winning balloon artist and magician, Edouard Daxon. Thank you so much for being here, Eddie.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing. So, Eddie, can you tell us a little bit, how did you get into magic? It's a pretty unique field to get into.
I got into it because it was just something that wasn't the ordinary job. I don't like to do, I never was one to want to have an ordinary job, so I got into it, learned how to do magic tricks, and the rest is history.
Amazing. And where do you perform typically?
I typically do it for hire. I do like birthday parties. Well, I now do magic for mostly teenagers and adults, so you know, bar mitzvahs or whatever. I've done dinner parties, weddings, all sorts of stuff, but I do mostly balloons. And I do that everywhere for kids and adults.
Amazing. Now, I hear you've won some awards. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes. At the Twist and Shout International Balloon Convention, I won 3rd place for the 10-minute competition And second place for the 12-minute wearable competition. It was the, you have to make those, the balloons in like the certain amount of minutes. Then I won third place again in the stage competition. It was just a skit that I put together, and it was fun.
Oh my goodness. Well, so you've told us that the balloons are typically your preference, but I know you've also got some magic you want to show us tonight. Can we see what you've got?
Yeah, you can see a card trick. I actually I've wanted to start this series on my social media where I read a trick and try to do it within, you know, the given time. So what I'm gonna do is I have a deck of cards here. I'm gonna have you pick one, any one you want.
Okay.
And you can
You pick that one there.
This one right here?
Yeah.
All right, take that. I'm gonna give you a pen. You can sign that and write your name right across the face. Okay. The face, not the back.
Okay.
All right, you just click it anywhere you want. You got it?
Okay.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna have you place that right there. And for time, I'm just gonna do one of these cuts. All right, we're gonna lose that right there. So, which one do you prefer, this one or this one?
Ooh.
The top one here or the bottom one here?
The bottom one.
All right, so we take the bottom one. All right, so that bottom one, you can turn it over. It's not gonna be your card, I promise. She'll put it there so you can see it. Everyone can see
Flip it over?
Yeah, flip it over. That's a 9. It's a 9. It's a 9. So everyone thinks that the magic cards in the deck of cards are the aces. It's not the aces. It's actually the 9. So let me show you. If I flip that, you see this regular card here? If you take that and you actually watch, just blow on it. When you blow on it, it becomes a 9. Now we got 2 9s. All right. What's 9 plus 9?
18.
All right, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's not your card at all.
No.
I know. But 18 has 2 digits, 8 and 1, and 8 and 1 is
9.
Exactly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. So that's 3 9s. That's 1, 2, 3 9s right there. So now we have to try to add these up. 9 plus 9 plus 9 is
27.
And 27 has 2 digits, and
and they equal 9.
7 and 2 is 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got all 4 9s. I know what you're thinking. This has nothing to do with your card because you picked the card earlier, and I don't know what that card is, and I just got all 4 of the 9s. That's some trick. Okay, so watch this. We're gonna use all 4 9s to find your card. Here's how we do this. Watch. If I take the 9s, and again, just blow on them. Did you see it? Your card jumped from the deck into the 9. See, there it is. It's right there. And if I turn it over, that should be there. It is.
Which camera is? Which?
There it is. There it is. Right there.
You see my name?
There it is. That's yours. That's all yours.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
I appreciate it.
I am thoroughly shook. I have no clue which camera to look at. Thank you so much, Eddie Daxon. And thank you for joining us here tonight. And
thank you very
now
much.
We're going to be heading over to see what's happening on sports.
Day 1 of the primary school track nationals in the books. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, Shop Smart, let's Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what they say, Mike? Well, yeah, develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. Dozens of young athletes from throughout the Bahamas descending on the capital for the 2025 Frank Pancho Ramming Primary School Track Nationals. Our intern, Swanson Gibson Jr., recapping the Day 1 performances.
Day 1 of the Frank Pancho Ramming Primary School Track and Field Nationals, and the kids are already off to an amazing start. We have 72 primary schools from both the Family Islands and New Providence competing, vying for the title of national champion. We would have had the 1200, 800, and 200 meters take place for both the boys and girls finals. We also would have had champions crowned for both the shot put and long jump earlier today. Here's a recap of what transpired.
On your mark.
It was a competitive start to this installment of the Primary School Nationals. The sun was scorching at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, but that did not keep the young athletes from performing at a high level. In the under-11 boys 1200 meters, Liam Bethel and Caden Edgecombe led the pack neck and neck for most of the race. But it would be Bethel of Palmdale Primary shifting into another gear and coming out on top as the victor.
Me and my coach had a plan, and I know I could fulfill that plan because I run out here all the time for a professional track team. So I know if you get out too fast, you're gonna lose the race. So I just know how to run it.
Clary E. Evans Primary out of Andros has been getting it done on the track back home and looks to further that success here in the capital. Coach Candice McPhee explained how they'll do just that.
We just encourage them to do their best, and we reminded them that they can do all things through Christ that strengthen them, and just go there and fight. Our kids would have won the district sports in North Andros, so we just told them, do what you did when you was in Andros, come and display it here, all on the track in Nassau.
BACO Secretary Denisha Curry expressed immense excitement towards the youthful talent on display.
We really want to say hats off to those coaches and those schools that would have put the time into these students that we would see have prepared, I believe, for months just to get here today to show the talents that they have. And we know that this is where our golden girl and our golden boy would have started.
More than a dozen events are slated for Wednesday, with the first beginning at 9:30 a.m. Throughout the day, the 100, 400, 4x1, and 4x75 relays take place for both boys and girls. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
Let's look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
To remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. Throw a Junkanoo parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars. And then forget about them until the next Members time. Of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read as I see it, exclusively at ZNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
It's time now for your Access Weather Forecast, and a ridge of high pressure will maintain dry conditions over the next few days, but some relief is in sight as the computer models are suggesting that a deep layer troughing will move into the area as we head into the weekend, and that could elevate our rain chances as we go into the weekend. Now, your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. Now, for the northwestern islands tonight, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide takes place at 10:52 tonight. And then for the central and southeastern islands, we'll have an easterly flow at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights also at 2 to 4 feet. And as we head into Wednesday and Thursday for the northwest and central islands, that southeast component will continue at 10 to 15 knots, to the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Now, the low tide That will occur at 11:18 in the morning with a high tide at 5:31 in the afternoon. And for the southeast bombers, Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have northeast to east winds at 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your body forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures. And they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Yeah,
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Ladon and Marlena.
Thanks a lot, Basil.
Well, here's Arnika Bannister with Let's Talk Socials.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another installment of Let's Talk Socials, the segment where we break down what's hot, what's trending, and what's blowing up your timeline. And if your feeds look anything like mine last night, then you know we have to talk about the Met Gala 2025. The theme this year was Superfine, Tailoring Black Style. This was the first Met show exclusively focused on black designers and the first in more than 20 years focused on menswear. So we're going to get this show started. Let's talk. Musical legend, 81-year-old Diana Ross stuns the Met Gala blue carpet with her all-white 18-foot train, which covered the entire staircase of the Met. Meanwhile, Janelle Monáe and Paul Tazwell, the first black man to win an Oscar for his costume design, collaborated to bring time travel illusion to the Met. While we are on the topic of stunning, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky stunned the world last night with her third pregnancy reveal on the blue carpet, dressed in Marc Jacobs.
All right, now fellas, now what's cooler than being cool?
And what's cooler than being cool? Andre 3000's Met Gala outfit broke the internet as his outfit served as the launch for his latest EP release. And wrapping things up here, Bahamian WNBA star player Jonquel Jones attended the Met Gala last night for the first time wearing Sergio Hudson. And that's it for another installment of Let's Talk Socials. I'm Arnika, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot, Arnika. Well, that does it for Access Now, Melena.
Yes, but stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson, who will be speaking with the Deputy Premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Good night, everybody.
This week, our future track and field stars will compete at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in the Frank Pancho Ramming National Primary Schools Track and Field Championship. Catch all the action on the ZNS Network on Tuesday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. and on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. It's the Frank Pancho Ramming National Primary Schools Track and Field Championship, May 6th through 8th, right here on the ZNS Network.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl Nika B, and I'm bringing you the heat with my crew on The Drop. We vibing, we reacting.
Hot videos.
We talking to the hottest music producers,
hot interviewers,
Bahamian artists, and Bahamian DJs. Trust me, y'all ain't never want to miss this energy on The Drop.
This your boy Shine 242, and if you want exclusive interviews, hot videos, hot music, then tune into The Drop, man.
It's only right here on The Drop, exclusively on ZNS.
Let's go, man.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs.
Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine room.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lapinder.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, the Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
Join us each Sunday at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 2:30 p.m. for Legends, the Untold Story, here on the ZNS Television Network.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like in our communities, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marlena Leonard and LaDon Davis. 7:30, Monday to Friday. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Mukesh Lapinder. This is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us tonight. Another exciting night planned for you. Well, the Prime Minister, among regional leaders, wrapping up talks today with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on matters of mutual interest, including border controls, illicit trafficking, financial services, as well as the still contentious issue of Cuban nurses. Now, according to Press Secretary Keishla Adderley, the Prime Minister is keen on getting clarity on that matter. For instance, is it that the U.S. government does not want the Bahamas to engage Cuban workers, or is it more so how the salaries of Cuban nurses are allocated? The U.S. alleges that the labor export program is nothing more than a scheme to facilitate human trafficking and labor violations. So let's pause there for a second, because here it is, the United States meeting with the Caribbean leaders, and as you would have heard, the concern is, what is it that the U.S. wants? What is it that the U.S. is trying to have happen? Now, in order to understand that, you must first understand the relationship between Cuba and the United States, and then Cuba and the Bahamas. Cuba and the Bahamas has had very cordial relations since establishing diplomatic ties. Now, this comes, of course, after there was, for lack of better words, some amends when we would have had that fateful day when the Cuban fighter jets would have attacked our Defense Force officers. And since then, the Bahamas has established diplomatic ties and relationship with Cuba to work cordially, and that has proven successful on a number of fronts, right? Particularly with being able to secure medical assistance from doctors and medical professionals who are trained and schooled in Cuba, Bahamians going over to Cuba to get medical treatment. Also, it bodes well for us in being able to exchange on cultural exchanges. You would have seen a report tonight from our Felicity Ingram, who's in Cuba, talking about the ties that are being formed, Felicity Darville, that is. And of course, there is the relationship diplomatically. They have an ambassador stationed here in the capital. So the Bahamas has had cordial relations with Cuba. Unlike the United States, it's a whole different ballgame. So right off the top, you understand that the U.S. has challenges with Cuba. And so anyone that dialogues with Cuba, obviously there is a concern as to whether or not all is well. To have the U.S. assert that the concern is, of course, whether there is participation in the labor export program to be a scheme of human trafficking is not only strong allegations, but according to the Bahamas, absolutely incorrect. Prime Minister Davis has gone on record speaking to the issue and saying the Bahamas would never participate in any kind of trafficking, human trafficking, or labor violations. And that what we are doing is above board. We are engaging in assistance programs. Many of these teachers are teaching Spanish in our schools. Many of the doctors and nurses are helping with the necessary vacancies in our hospitals. And so they are contributing and are being paid. However, there seems to be an assertion that that is not really what's happening. And that payment is going not to these individuals, but going to the Cuban government, who's not passing it on to the people. And then you have this assertion of some sort that there is human trafficking going along. In other words, persons are being exploited for their work and not being compensated. And the Bahamas will never be privy to that, will never be a part of that. But that's the allegations. So it's going to be interesting to find out that during these talks in Washington, what comes out of it and what the Bahamas will say and what stance the Bahamas will take and whether there needs to be further looking into the matter. Now, many people didn't know until this happened that indeed the government of the Bahamas was paying the Cuban government. People thought it was direct. You get paid here as a laborer and you send your money back if you want to, or whatever you do with your money is entirely up to you. Many people are now finding out that's not the case. The government of the Bahamas is actually allegedly paying the Cuban government for their services, and that is where the question no doubt lies. So these meetings in Washington are very important because it's going to not only establish the position, but it's going to bring clarity into what the program is and how the program works. It's nothing new. It didn't just start with the Davis administration. Consecutive administrations have engaged Cuba for its services in medical and in education. And so it's going to be interesting to find out what terms these are playing on and what will happen with that. That meeting is expected to take place, of course, with Marco Rubio sometime tomorrow. Prime Minister is holding a press conference to that end to address the issue going forward. But I think it's important to understand, first of all, what they're saying in that regard. And that happened today at the press conference. We do have a soundbite there from Keisha Adderley from the Office of the Prime Minister. Take a listen.
He does also want to make it very clear that the Bahamas does not participate or support human trafficking of forced labor or anything of that sort. Our standing as Tier 1 in the latest human trafficking report issued by the United States bears that out. Prime Minister returns to the capital tomorrow, and of course, we should have some feedback on the outcomes of that meeting at that time.
There you go, as we suspected. So we'll wait for that press conference. No doubt we will address those issues. The media will put those questions to the Prime Minister, get clarity for you so we know exactly what is happening. Well, meantime, assertions by opposition leader Michael Pintard that the Prime Minister is looking to call an early election are being shot down tonight, no question about it. OPM's press secretary Keisha Adderley told reporters the nation's chief has given no indication that he plans to call a snap election, noting he plans to continue to fulfill the PLP's 2021 blueprint for change.
He continues to work on key objectives like lowering the cost of living, improving the quality of life for Bahamians. We can look at cost-cutting measures like the reduction in VAT, the big slash in electricity bills, the sourcing of food from from news sources so that they aren't priced out of the reach of Bahamians. The constructions of homes here in New Providence and on the Family Islands, 120 completed and counting. So that is what the Prime Minister is focused on, and I would sooner focus on the more delivery of the objectives of the administration than an election date, including a very big announcement very soon.
All right, so we're going to be listening out for those details. But, you know, it's politics. I mean, the reality is, what else is the opposition leader going to talk about? And as you've noticed, he has been busy trying to make sure he can comment on anything national that happens that's a concern or an issue. He's there. He's talking about it. He's trying to get his opportunity to be in the media as much as he possibly can. And who blamed him? That's the job of the opposition leader, right? The job of the opposition leader, especially a year out of elections, be present, be vocal, be in every time the media comes on. If you can get it in, why not? Right? That's the job of the opposition to do just that. And Michael Pintard is not short on doing that. He has been doing that. He's been making sure he takes advantage of every opportunity to give a comment. He's there. And so when there might have been breaks on in the past, breaks are off now. It's all about getting the airtime. And so they ask you a question, even if you have no answer, you talk, get the airtime. And so no surprise here that he's trying to stoke the wheel for the Prime Minister to call an early election. He's hoping that, listen, let's get this stance on. But, you know, I keep telling people, be prepared for what you're asking for, because at the end of the day, if the guns go off, are you ready? And will the Bahamian people respond in your favor? One man can answer that out of all of our past prime ministers. He can tell you what happens when you jump the gun early. It may not go the way you hope for it to go. And so it's important that while there's no date on election, the Bible says, be also ready. You know, not the day or the hour. And so it's important to let's establish this right off the top. All camps are making their arsenals ready, because when it does come and when their date is announced, the battle will be on. And it'll be no time to prepare, it'll be time to execute. So, like people always say, now is the time of preparation, because execution then comes right after that. Well, interesting. We're going to be talking some more politics tonight, but not as you think on the local front. If you haven't heard yet, it's been exactly 3 months since the Turks and Caicos Islands held its national elections that saw the governing Progressive National Party return to office in a landslide victory against the People's Democratic Movement. The party's deputy leader, who is now the deputy prime minister, premier they call him, deputy premier, is in town this week. He's here tonight to tell us about his visit, why he's here, and what's been happening since the administration has been successful at the polls. Talk about that. Then also members of the National Association of Justices of the Peace. Yeah, I say it. That's actually a thing. It's an association of Justices of the Peace. They'll give us an update on what they're doing and how they want to increase their membership. I mean, I don't know how much more they can increase it. Everybody's studying to become a JP now. And so some folk, boy, Lord have mercy. Anyway, we'll talk about that when they come on. And then get ready again for another Boatman show. Listen, if you find something that works, work it. And they're certainly working it. The concert organizer will join me at this desk to give us a preview of what's happening this weekend, the big concert. So it's an exciting show. Stay with us. The Rundown returns here on the ZNS Network right after the break. We get started. Stay close.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our side wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You could do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Welcome back to the Rundown. A special good evening to all of you who are watching us on digital media platforms in the Lion's Den. I see you. And of course, whether you're watching on your various cable platforms here locally, Flow TV, or if you're watching around the region, around the world. And I always say Turks and Caicos, and I got a reason to say it tonight on your various platforms. Thank you for joining us to the Rundown. Well, it was on February 7th of this year when residents of the Turks and Caicos Islands overwhelmingly re-elected the governing Progressive National Party back in office. Now, the governing party beat the opposition's People Democratic Movement to secure 16 of the country's 19 seats in its parliament. That's a slaughter. The PNP's deputy leader, Jamel Robinson, was elected as an all-island member of parliament. He also holds a prestigious position of deputy premier and minister of immigration and border services. He previously served as a minister of physical planning and infrastructure development and minister of health and human services. The deputy premier is in the capital this week and joins us tonight on the Rundown to tell us more about the Bahamas' successful diplomatic relations with the TCI. Deputy Premier, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Watson.
And congratulations on your party's victory and your ascension to Deputy Premier.
Thank you again.
So let's talk about it, because you know when we talk about Turks and Caicos, we feel as if we're talking about one of our islands. I shouldn't say one of our islands like you belong to us, but we share a common ground, and I think we share so much in common that we consider ourselves family between here. A lot of Bahamians are in TCI, and a lot of Turks Islanders are in the Bahamas. And when I go there, it's like I'm in the Bahamas because people are hailing me and saying, "Hey, Clint, what's going on?" So you feel like you're at home. Let's talk about, since being elected to office, how has things been going, first of all, for the administration?
Well, so the administration is off to a quick start because given that the election was held February 7th, we are in budget preparations right away because the fiscal year ends March 31st. So that's what we've been preparing for. So yesterday, the Premier actually laid the budget in Parliament for it to go to Appropriations Committee. So the 19th to about the 23rd of May will be our budget session, our full-out presentation of the budget, etc. So that's what we're preparing on because, like you would have mentioned in the initial rundown, that it was a significant win. So this is our second landslide victory. The first victory was 14-1 in the 2021 election. This is 16-3. So clearly the people of the Turks and Caicos have significant confidence in us, and we've made significant promises and pledges, one of which is to ensure that we double the size of our revenue from $500 million to $1 billion in the next 5 years, as well as to ensure that we do at least $100 million in road infrastructure upgrades, as well as build at least 3,000 new housing units in the next 5 years. So we have a very ambitious agenda, and I think the people know that we're the right team to get it done.
What was it that turned, I shouldn't say turned because the people always stayed with you, what was it that reignited confidence in the people to re-elect you when around the world governments were being booted out of office because of what people were seeing, because of the cost of living, because of issues that countries are facing. What caused Turks Islanders to say, no, we're going to stay with this administration? Clearly, there was something you were doing right, or some vote of confidence that the people clearly expressed. What was it?
I think it started with our leader, Honorable Charles Washington Mizik, the President, Premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands, primarily because he's our statesman. He's one of our longest-serving politicians, and he's been Chief Minister before. He's been Minister of Finance. He's on his second term as Premier, and I think that steady hand is what the country wanted and needed, particularly coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, which we were the government that kind of guided us back to economic prosperity. And because since about 2012, we kept on switching governments a little bit like the Bahamas.
Yeah, every election.
Exactly, but because we wanted stability and we had the right mixture of seasoned veteran politicians, statesmen, young up-and-comers like myself, persons who are hard workers. We have a cross-section of former public servants, business persons, so people who had their ears to the ground. I think all of that was rewarded with another landslide victory at the polls.
Is there any pressure this time around because of this overwhelming support of confidence to deliver for the people?
Definitely, because in our first term, I think we laid the foundation, laid the groundwork for a lot of the things that will come to fruition in this term. So it's make or break. So all of the things we said that we needed more time to deliver, we have to deliver, because being the first government since the Michael Mizik administration to get 2 terms in a row, we have to deliver that for the people. Otherwise, they're going to say, well, you had your time. And one of the things we did was a constitutional change, so we moved from a 4-year term to a 5-year term. So now we have 5 years to deliver for the people. So if you can't deliver in 9 years in total, it'll be hard to say, well, I need more time.
Pretty much. I remember when there was an opening of the office here of Turks and Caicos Islands, the first time ever to open an office here. How has that been since opening that office? Has it proven successful here in the capital?
Yeah, I think it's been very successful, actually, because it provides, and that's the TCI Diaspora office that you're referencing.
Yes.
It provides an opportunity for Turks and Caicos Islanders who want to connect with whom to have a central location. We also would have last Friday did a meet and greet in Freeport, Bahamas, under the leadership of our representative over there, who's Canon Curtis Robinson. And from the feedback that I got today in visiting our TCI Diaspora office here in Nassau, it was a lot of people came to the meeting, as well as they would have visited at least some 500 persons in their walkabout during the day leading up to the meeting. So we're trying to make sure we are able to connect more with the persons from our diaspora. And of course, I believe on par, the Bahamas probably has the biggest Turks and Caicos Island diaspora. Probably States might be second or first or running a race there. So it's very important. I think it's been a success. So we want to grow that, go from strength to strength, and ensure that our people know they still have a place at home.
Can we now see that becoming a diplomatic soon presence here? Talk about the nature of your trip here.
Well, I think eventually that needs to happen, and it needs to be a bit more seasoned, because as persons know, we're still British overseas territory, so that'll happen over time in terms of having more responsibility for our own foreign affairs. And the reason I'm here, because in our new government, I would have changed portfolios to immigration and border services. And with that responsibility, I'm also the minister with responsibility for regional affairs in CARICOM. So I would have came to the Bahamas specifically to meet with Honorable Fred Mitchell, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So he's the point person that we liaise with for CARICOM, because we are associate members of CARICOM.
Correct.
So the Bahamas is the point person for all the other overseas territories that are associated members. So I kind of came here to get a proper briefing to know the ins and outs of what's taking place in CARICOM, because we have a meeting, joint meeting on July 1st of this year. In addition to that, we are also taking on protocol in the Ministry of Immigration and Border Services. So we had an opportunity to meet with the Chief Protocol Officer, Mr. Archer, for a meeting as well. So that was very informative. So we're going to see how we can utilize the skill sets that are in the Bahamas in their protocol sector to see how we can build that in the Turks and Caicos, because as persons know, Bahamas has the best protocol offerings in the region, if not the world. And lastly, because I'm also Minister of Labor, we took the opportunity while here to meet with officials from the Labor Ministry. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to meet with Honorable Pia Rule because she's out of country on business, but she ensured that we organized a meeting with the team. So we had that meeting today, and it's very, very fruitful.
One of the another area that you have established ties with is, of course, the Broadcasting Corporation. We've been working with your administration in support of your national station, getting it established and so forth. Why is that important in your view to have that kind of presence of media established in the Turks and Caicos Islands?
Well, media and social media and all media is very important, particularly not just in politics, but in the way you want to govern a country. Because an informed populace is a very important populace. It makes it easy to govern. It makes it easier for you to be able to bring persons along and share in the vision. It can't be a thing that they only hear from you on the campaign trail every 4 or 5 years.
Correct.
So it's important that we created those ties and started the work. I believe there's some more work that ZNS would have to do in partnership with RTC and I believe the Premier's Office or the new Ministry of Innovation, Technology and Information, which RTC now sits, to be able to continue those partnerships and move that along, because media is important, and trying to build a proper, robust infrastructure is something that we want to do. And of course, leveraging the skills that exists within ZNS is something that we saw as fruitful, and it has been fruitful thus far.
Let's talk about some of the challenges that Turks and Caicos face, because obviously for any government that's in or even trying to be elected or to office has to focus on what are the concerns of the people. What are the concerns of Turks Islanders?
Well, the concerns of most Turks and Caicos Islanders is balance, because of course we have a robust economy, which, and I'll speak from a position of immigration.
Right.
It's robust, and we need foreign labor. But on the other side, we have to ensure that we have opportunities for Turks and Caicos Islanders to be workers as well as entrepreneurs, business owners, and have opportunities to have upward mobility within the job market itself. So that's the thing that we ensure, because again, with our great mandate that we have, wanting to get to $1 billion worth of revenue year on year in terms of the government side of things, and have a greater robust economy, we must continue to grow. But in that growth, we have to make sure that no Turks and Caicos Islanders are left behind. So it's finding that balance from meeting the needs of our economy, which is getting supercharged and we need more people, but also ensuring that Turks and Caicos Islanders have the opportunity to be able to grow it. And to tie it back into the diaspora needs, our ideal is to grow the economy and people with people who are just like us. So that's Turks and Caicos Islander Bahamians, that's Bahamians generally speaking, because of the historical ties, because of the cultural ties, it's better to grow your economy and grow your system with people who can understand where you're coming from, and you can understand where they're coming from. So that makes the transition and the integration of a greater society much easier, rather than having to integrate persons that just don't have a common history as you do, a common culture as you do.
Would you say your immigration policies are a little more relaxed because you're trying to grow from foreign workforce and labor force, and perhaps maybe we here in the Bahamas, where it seems as if, you know, we're trying to keep people out. And I've always told people that will never work. You will never grow your economy that way. You are going to have to use foreign labor in order to build your economy and expand your economy. It's not something that y'all have shied away from, Turks and Caicos Islanders. There's been an almost open door to embrace foreign workforce. Talk about being able to balance that.
Well, I wouldn't say we have relaxed laws. I think we just have to be more precise and have precision in how we mat out, because of course you have the reality of you have a limited number of skilled persons and a limited number of persons in general within the country. So if you're going to have to find a foreign laborer, if you're talking about a supervisor, middle manager, senior manager, you want to ensure that you enforce your succession planning programs to ensure that, all right, well, this person isn't going to be here forever and ever, and amen, right? So as you grow, more of those opportunities will come about. So it might not be that the person that's understudying will necessarily end up in that position in that particular company, but the skills they would have gained as new opportunities grow across the country and the economy, they might be able to transition over there, because the idea is to ensure that we have more Turks and Caicos Islanders in middle and senior management on the job front, but also that they can benefit from the economic boom and be owners of businesses. Because on one hand, you might want a job as a Turks and Caicos Islander, and you might look at a work permit holder as someone who's in a job you're in. But as an entrepreneur and a business owner, your business may very well also need that foreign labor to be able to operate. So you have to find that balance of the needs and who takes priority at the particular time. So there's enough growth and enough opportunity for all. So we just have to make sure from our policy standpoint is that we ensure that any Turks and Caicos Islander that's willing to work, have the skills or can be trained, has that opportunity. So it's ensuring that the opportunities are available for those Turks and Caicos Islanders.
Have you taken any measures to protect opportunities or growth for Turks and Caicos Islanders? For example, whenever you increase foreign labor, then you have the tendency of people coming in and buying up the land and being able to make sure they can take advantage of what's there. Have you put in any measures to protect things for Turks and Caicos Islanders?
So the primary way we protect Turks and Caicos Islanders would be through the business licensing component. So there's a number of businesses, and we're actually in the process of reviewing this now, a number of businesses that are in the reserve category, which means it would have to be 100% Turks and Caicos Islander owned businesses, or restricted, which would be you can only get a foreign owner if it's signed off by the cabinet of the country. So you would have to make a very robust argument as to why this particular business can have a foreign owner in this particular market. So, and that's for almost the majority of businesses now. We're updating the business licensing, where we're going to have even more categories that are going to be Turks and Caicos Islander reserve categories, more restricted categories, to ensure that from an economic standpoint, that whatever does take place, we have ownership and true equity as a part of the businesses that take place. So that will help us carve out our portion of the economy.
Have you restricted real estate for Turks and Caicos Islanders?
Well, what we're doing, funny enough, and I was able to be the lead in passing this bill. So what we would have done is that now, well, within the next year, December 30th of this year, actually, we will, only Turks and Caicos Islanders will be salespersons. So that's going to be a restricted market. The only existing brokers who might have non-Turks and Caicos Islander partners will be able to move forward. So they'll be grandfathered in. But every new business going forward will have to be a Turks and Caicos Islander, 100% Turks and Caicos Islander owned real estate company, and going forward, all of the salespersons will be Turks and Caicos Islander salespersons, so real estate agents is what they call in layman's terms. So that's basically a $50 million commission industry. I believe the government gets at least $50 million on stamp duty for these types of transactions. So that's about the equivalent in, I believe, commissions that's also gotten in the sales. So that's a significant portion of the economy that very soon only Turks and Caicos Islanders will be able to benefit from.
As Border Services Minister, are you satisfied with the protection of your borders and being able to man the borders to ensure that your island and your territory is protected?
Well, much like the Bahamas, being a multi-island nation, it's very challenging to secure 193 square miles, a country with several entry points.
Right.
So essentially we have to be smarter in terms of detection, which we have a number of radars. We work closely with the Bahamas and U.S. with the Outback, which is the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos operations with the U.S. Coast Guard, as well as having persons that feed us intel and when sloops, particularly coming from the south, may be leaving and trying to get here, getting to the Turks and Caicos Islands. So it is a challenge, and then if there's a landing, then we have boots on the ground exercises to try to capture as many people and deport them, or repatriate them, I should say, in this instance. So it is an ongoing challenge, but we would have invested in the last term a significant amount of money to get more vessels on the ground so we can actually patrol our waters better. And I believe we are also going to be getting a vessel or two from the UK as well.
Well, definitely, Premier. If you visited the Turks and Caicos Islands, you know there's a lot happening. Tourism is taking off. The airport expansion project is coming along well. And so it signals there's some great days ahead. And so we definitely wish you and the administration well over the next 5 years in your tenure in office.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being on the Rundown. It's been our pleasure. And we look forward to talking to you in the future. Thank you. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about justice of the peace. Perhaps maybe I can get my license tonight. We'll see. We'll talk about that. And then later, of course, a big event coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that as well. The Rundown, we're back after this. Stay close.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Gale, and I'm inviting you to be a part of a journey where we open the Word of God to receive strength, to receive empowerment from the Scriptures as they have been written. Get your Bibles, get your cup of coffee or your tea, because this journey is gonna be great. This is your day of victory.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching our young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com. Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lupinder.
Welcome back. The National Association of Justices of the Peace is committed to bringing together all justices of the peace here in the Bahamas. The association is guided by the Attorney General's office and governed by the laws of the Bahamas and of course the use of our services. To tell us more about the association's mandate is the association's first Vice President, Belinda Chipman, and of course the chaplain, Pastor Jeffrey Wood. Both of you, welcome to the Rundown. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks so much.
having us.
Glad to be here.
So let's talk about the role, because people hear, okay, an Association for the Justice of the Peace. Talk about, first of all, what the purpose of this association is.
Okay, well, I am really glad to get this opportunity to do this, because people are so misguided and they think, oh, well, I want to be a JP, and they think that that's what we do.
Right.
But no, it starts from you getting that JP appointment from the Bahamas government, and of course being sworn in the courts by the chief magistrate.
Correct.
And then we snag you and we invite you to be a part of us so that you can be under our umbrella. And what we do is we're kind of like an attachment to the government that guides you based on their law. So we keep very good relations with the government and the AG's office to learn what's happening, and we know what the do's and the don'ts are based on the magistrate court, because we are a form of magistrates. And so with that being said, we ensure that we have the human resources and all the different types of resources in speakers, in persons who would come. Chief Magistrate himself, Roberta Reckley, he would come and, you know, he would speak to them and he would say, you know, what your rights are. And of course, we have attorneys, we have a President of the Senate, people from different arms of the government, and of course, privately, we have persons coming in to speak to our JPs and keeping them informed, as well as holistic things with other areas of their life, from banking, saving, you name it. And so we keep that tight body and we rub on each other's shoulders. So, you know, the legal system and the lawyers, they're a very tight-knitted group, not as big as we are, because they're over 4,000 JPs. The government has created an army of wonderful citizens who are ready to serve. And
it sounds like it's mushroomed over the years.
Yeah, and it's probably more, because that was my last count, and we're, you know, they're swearing in other persons. But they're people who gave their life to service, and they're properly vetted to ensure that, listen to me, this person would have been tested, proven, and tried to have provided all that they can to help to develop this Bahama land, and now they want to serve further at a later date.
Pastor Wood, what makes a good justice of the peace? Based on the roles and functions of a justice of the peace, what kind of person should be a justice of the peace?
First of all, I think it's a person who can demand the respect of the society. Somebody who is honest, somebody who has a sense of integrity, somebody who is trustworthy. And I'm not sure that all these things are checked out. And hence we get some people who go in the other direction. But I think a person should have proved to themselves. And lots of times you can ask your representative to put your name in, and that person, you know, would get you named as a JP, will sponsor you as a JP. Most of the time it works out, but sometimes it doesn't.
The vetting doesn't pass.
Because the JP, the representative doesn't check that person.
Right.
He checks him on the basis of support, but not fit for the person.
If persons who are JPs violate any, is there any way for somebody to be removed as a JP?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Mr. Watson,
yes, there is.
We can say
way.
yes,
yes,
but it's a process.
Yeah,
no, yes, it does. No, yes, because the government and the AG's office, obviously, it's a legal arm of our government, obviously, that governs things that relate to keeping the law.
Right.
So, of course, anything that you get involved in that you mishandle and have any form of malfeasance or misfeasance or misconduct, of course you can be removed.
Yes.
And then some persons die. But you know, there have been persons over the years that we have known that have been wayward, and I think this is why our founding members have gone the length to set this organization up.
Right.
Because we knew about the situations, and obviously if I'm affiliated or I'm a JP, I wouldn't want everyone to think that all JPs are the same.
Right.
So we set this organization up, and I'll tell you, I just really want to stick a pin to tell you some of our founders.
Please.
We have, back in the day, in 09 is when it was first registered, and then, you know, they had a little break in there, and then we officially launched in 010, and we had Mr. Hilton McIntosh. These are some of the brain children. Our first president was Mr. Philip Archer, and we had a supporting team with him of Dr. Laura Johnson. These are some persons, we just honored them for their role in establishing this company. And we also have persons like Tanya Kemp Sawyer, who did some of the legal work and things like that. And then we had persons like the well-renowned Romeo Farrington and Mr. Sydney. Oh my goodness, don't beat me up, but you know, when I'm getting to the 5th floor, you know how that is. But you know, we also, it was a collie?
No, not Sydney.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong name, sorry. Anyhow, but we also had persons like Mr. But anyhow, a lot of other persons came along the way and helped. Then the president became ill, so it would kind of had a dormant period, and then we came back. That's when I came, which is later now. And then we had Tanya Sawyer. She went away to study law, and then she came back, and then we kind of revived it along with the president at the time. And so Godfrey Wood came on, and a lot of other really talented service-driven Bahamians who were ready to now take this to the next level. The president got from the police person who was the head of police at the time, I think that was Paul Roll, yes. And he got all of the approvals that we needed to be able to use the Bahamian symbols and things like that. We had meetings.
Rutherford.
Yes, and Rutherford, Patrick Rutherford as well. And all of the Bahamian symbols and etc. So after we did all of those things, we went now on a drive to try, like you said, get membership. And how we get membership is we not just advertise, obviously, through your program and other programs, but we go out there and we do national service-based things. Like we did the census of all those almost 2,000 people to go do the census. So we swore all of them in. We went to be all day, and like 2 days in a row, we were at the National Stadium doing that. And so we think that we bring a value to this service.
Should there be standardized charges or rates for services that JPs provide, for example, so that people aren't exploited? Should there be something that the association comes up with and say, listen, if you go to Justice of the Peace for this service, it should cost between this amount. If you go for this service, it should cost between this amount. So people have an understanding, an idea that if I go to somebody and they're charging me something that's not even in this range, something's wrong.
Yes. There is not one now.
Yes, well, there is
one.
But
there is one, but no, they don't follow the guideline.
Yes.
It's not official, okay? And so obviously people, and these are some of the things that the association wants to bring. But let me backtrack again, because, you know, Clint, you know, I'm following your lead, but at the same time, we want to also recognize my president, and he is Ambassador Devon Roll. Yes, he is a preacher from KDC Embassies in Palmdale, and that's where we actually have our meetings every second Tuesday of the month. And
so those who are Justice of the Peace and want to join can just come to the meeting?
Come to the meeting. Yeah. Come to the meeting.
Every Tuesday?
Every second Tuesday in the month.
In the month.
Yes.
So second Tuesday of every month, you're going to go to...
At 7 o'clock.
Right there, Rosetta Street.
The Honda Plaza.
The Honda Plaza.
The Honda Plaza, right across from where Grace Music School used to be. And our president and the team, we have our executive board, and we're there waiting to just accept you. We want to create a force that can be a great backup arm and system to the government. We have already sent correspondence to the Attorney General to use some of us to help to take down the backlogs in the courts. Because a lot of us are qualified and able to do it, and the backlog is backlogged. And so it's not any one fault, administration's fault, but it's there. And so we want to help. We want to help in a meaningful way. And so all of those types of things that relate to whether law, order, keeping the peace, and going out there and even doing things like community development projects, we want to be involved in it, and we are involved in some of them as well.
All right, I'll give you, Pastor Wood, the final word.
Yes, we appreciate the fact that we do have the association, and what we're trying to do is bring accountability to this big body of people We're also trying to establish chapters in each of the family islands right now, but they can join us. We have recently started streaming our meetings, and so Family Island JPs can attend the meetings. But then, to be a member, you have to apply, and $50.
All right, so if you're out there and you're Justice of the Peace, this is obviously a very good body to be a part of, so you know what's happening in the sector, how you can be a part of it. And obviously, for people, I think they probably eventually have a listing, so people know, listen, these are Justice of the Peaces that you can go to, who you know you're going to get excellent service, who can provide for you. It's good to be a part of that. I'll give you, Vice President, the last word.
Yes, well, basically, most importantly, we want to instill integrity. We want to be able to help to keep the peace, all of the things that are in our mandate. But most importantly, we invite every one of you. We have a lot of new, I think every Friday there is another swearing in, and so we try to go to the courts to recruit you. But if we missed you, please come to the KDC Embassy in Palmdale in the Honda Plaza every second Tuesday at about 7 p.m. and join us in the meetings to get signed up and to be a part of this wonderful body of persons who we have support there. If you don't know how to do something, please just don't go ahead and do it. You could go to jail. Ask somebody.
I just wanted to say that on Saturday I'll be 87.
Wow.
And
happy birthday.
I thank you, and I just want to turn this over to some of the younger people. I think it's gone a good way.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you both for coming. So when we come back, where you should be this weekend, I'll tell you right after the break. Stay close.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
No.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
The thought of colon cancer never really crossed my mind until 2019, when a very good friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. I was shocked. Everybody was shocked because he was a picture of perfect health. He was young, athletic, successful, and full of life. Many of us are still in disbelief. I started to question my own health because if it happened to him, surely it could happen to me. Then came the fear, the anxiety, and everything else in between. Facing your own mortality is very sobering. But for me, I decided right then to have a colonoscopy, and I'm glad I did.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosed in Bahamian men and women. Fortunately, almost all colon cancers are preventable. A colonoscopy or some other appropriate form of colon cancer screening is recommended for everyone over the age of 45. During a colonoscopy, we can detect and remove colon polyps that may grow and later become colon cancers. Don't wait until you develop symptoms, such as blood in your stool, abdominal pain, a significant change in your bowel habits, or unintentional weight loss. These may all be indications of a severe problem that requires immediate attention. If you're over the age of 45 or have any of those symptoms, talk to your doctor about the benefits of colon cancer screening today.
Welcome back. Before we close tonight, I got to tell you where you got to be this weekend. That's my job. Bahamian music lovers, get ready for another fabulous all-Bahamian concert. The Legends of Rake and Scrape this time. This Saturday, May 10th, at the Farm on Marshall Road. Y'all know the location. You can get ready to dance to the hits of KB, Sweet Emily, Gino D, Funky D, Simeon Alton. Got some gospel in there for you. And guess what? Singing Bishop Lawrence Roll. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's giving us a preview tonight. It's Ms. Kirkland Bodie, KB, and of course, Emily Williams, better known as Sweet Emily. Thank you, two amazing legends in Bahamian music. Thank you for being here. I'm honored to have you both.
Thank you, thank you.
It's good to be here.
So, talk about Saturday. Talk about Saturday. Lord KB, what this going to be?
Again, you know,
Lord Jesus.
Well, you know, the Boatman show was a great show.
Yes, yes.
They came back with a great idea of bringing the legends, you know, those who held the Bahamian music and the Bahamian culture together for, you know, in our secular music. So, got Emily, Funky D, Gino, the whole crew, man. D-Mark, everyone. Wilfred Solomon's going to be coming in. You're gonna there's going to be a whole crew, and again, you know, Simeon out of my good cousin out of the Grand Bahama.
Absolutely.
And of course the singing bishop. So we're going to have a great night.
I know y'all I can tell you now, y'all can't outdance the singing bishop.
I haven't even taken the challenge, man.
Don't even try. Don't even try.
Well, let me keep quiet. Let me keep quiet.
Emily, y'all continue to make amazing performances on all of these events that have been taking place for the last few months and years, really. Bahamian artists have really risen to the occasion. It's like you put something on that stage that you don't find other artists from other countries have.
Absolutely.
What is it?
I mean, I feel as if what we bring is quite different from what other people bring. And like we say, it's not even a show, it's an event.
Right,
it's not a regular concert because it's a showcase of the best of Bahamian music and the legends that are living. Because sometimes we don't recognize persons until they're passed. But to see people like Veronica Bishop and to see persons like, of course, KB, Iris Starr, his band would be there as well, Wilfred Solomon all the way from Freeport, and so many others. We also have, what's the gentleman name from?
Basil.
That's the one who did the Sailor Man song. And of course, you know, and for me as a female too, I always like to speak to the female aspect of it. Veronica and I guess, you know, everybody know I took my little sabbatical, but I've always been still pushing out music. And so over the years, persons like myself, Veronica Bishop, Therese, who was passed on, we have been the females who continue to keep the females in the limelight of Bahamian music. I was the first one actually recording what we do, and everybody else came behind, Nita, Therese, and Veronica Bishop. And so it's going to be a showcase of talent that Bahamians have never seen on one stage.
I gotta ask, is there a lot of pressure to have to constantly keep it coming? Because people, when they see you, they expect you to always have something new and always be great. And you know, I know what it's like as someone who's on stage.
Right.
Sometimes you don't feel it. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you go through, but you got to deliver because people expect you to always be at your best. It takes a lot.
Oh yeah, and you know, Bahamian people ain't easy. You know, we just ain't easy. So
listen to me. When you have an off night, they know.
Yeah, but Clint, I think one of the things that I know you would agree with is, especially from a Christian standpoint, we understand anointing, and we understand when a person is anointed for something, it comes natural. And I always tell people, yes, we have some artists who's hit and miss. I can be real. But you got some artists who don't hit and miss. KB is one of them. KB is one of them, okay? D-Mark is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Sweet Emily is one of them.
Of course.
I have never had, honestly, I've never had a bad show.
Wow.
Because you have times when you go to these regattas and you go to do these shows where the audience may not be excited or come to the stage.
Right.
But you have to have that experience, and I think that's something that, see, KB and persons like myself, unlike persons like D-Mark, we grew up in the, what you call over the hill nightclub scene. That's where we came out of bands that played in the nightclubs, eventually worked in hotels and that type of stuff. So you would have had to been a person who know how to entertain. Like a funky don't have a bad joke.
Right.
And you know certain people, and I think that's what sets some entertainers apart from others, or persons who come in the business, they believe it's just hopping on the stage, performing, but you must understand the audience. And so, you know, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be 100% Bahamian, and that's what I like about it. And I mean, we've come a long way.
And I want to answer to what he asked you about what's different from, I guess, the rest of the Caribbean. You know, I think what's different is our dialect, our music, our, you know, just the way we present ourselves as Bahamians. And I think Bahamians are now feeling the pride in themselves to say, okay, these guys are they're representing us. Like when you saw Bob Marley, you said, oh, look, Bob them represent Jamaica. You see Trini, you see Marshall, they're representing Trini. Now they see us representing them and bringing music that can speak to them as quality music, and they're feeling real proud about it. And I think Bahamians, especially from the kids and the grown-ups.
Listen, and what I like about it is that our music is often based on stories that you can relate to. Right? When you think about the songs, the hit songs, you could tell a whole story.
Especially
KB.
And Phil, don't forget Phil.
Too. Yeah.
But you know, what I love about KB has this superior level of telling stories, right? Because
subliminal.
I never understood the boatman story until I understand the boatman story.
All right.
And then you realize, okay, this is a story. This is a
But
lesson.
tell me what you understand since you.
Well, it's a story about a boatman who's
there you
on
go.
the water.
There you go.
Well, that's what I thought it was.
No, it is.
You know, seaman and.
I don't. Listen, I'm not. I don't know where. See, again, everyone reads it.
Well,
everyone reads into what I'm writing. But let me say, no. The point is, we can. It's a story about us. We're speaking to us, and I love that. And we are funny. You know, when I say funny people, we laugh. We can make jokes. We'll tease you. Don't do nothing wrong. We tease you all day. And so, I think we are beautiful people. I think we are blessed people. And we may have one or two bad ways, but we got 1,000 good ways. And that's what I love about us as a people. I love the Bahamas. I love our people. And just like you had the Deputy Prime Minister here, I give him the best Premier, say Prime Minister. Premier here from Turks and Caicos. Again, we're basically almost the same people. Same people.
Listen to me. When they did the big event they had last year in Turks and Caicos, we were there.
I saw you because I guess about.
And what amazed me is how the Turks and Caicos Islanders went crazy when they saw the people who they played music with all the time. I watched when, because you know, after the show, what I love about it is the fact that after that show, after Emily got on the stage, you know where she went? Down to the people.
That's right.
And I still thought it was amazing. She went and she went on to people, talked to people, hailed people, and those people were going crazy. She would stand up talking to them. It showed that, listen, man, I have a human side to me. I ain't got to be away from you guys. You are the ones who constantly play my music. I come to meet you. I come to support you.
And Emily, that's what she is. And I want to get back to you, though, because the same way I think that you're doing, you know, you do your gospel music, and I think I watch you, you know, you do your thing, but I want you to transition one or two of them over some rake and scrape, and let's see what we can do.
Yes, please.
I'm looking forward to
some collaboration.
I know you can do phenomenal. I know you're a great producer. I know you can do some phenomenal work, and I know again. I think you see it coming. You've watched our shows. I've seen you in Grand Bahama. Remember you did your show last year, and I think we can do some things together. You know, we can transcend. Because I think the religious gospel music is going to get over before even the secular music can move. Because in the genre of music, I think the gospel music can do it. Can go international. Can go before because it's different. You remember what's McClurkin who did the I forgot the song name.
I Made Up Medley.
Yes. Oh man, so you can see that Caribbean music.
You are correct. On all of the tours that Shabak has done, and recently in the last 5 years we've done Japan, we've done Asia, Paris, Dubai, and all of those countries we've gone to. When we hit that Bahamian rate, it's like people come alive all of a sudden.
And you know, if you're doing Junkanoo or whatever, again, it's the same thing. But you know what? Again, I appreciate ZNS giving us this opportunity to push the show, man. Thank you so much, man.
Saturday,
May 10th.
All of this going down, so get your tickets. Make sure you're there. I promise you, no show they've ever done together has ever been a bad show. It's going to be a great one. Les has done it again. Congratulations to Les and the entire team for making sure Bahamians have an opportunity to enjoy their artists on a regular basis. Saturday is where it goes down. Listen now, none of y'all got an excuse to stay home. Why? Because you got all the artists, gospel and the secular. So you can't stay home and say, well, I can't go. You can go.
You ain't got to worry about security. You ain't got to worry about parking. You ain't got to worry. It's going to be phenomenal.
And I think that's one of the things that I like about this particular show. I think this is the first show that I've ever seen in the entire Bahamas in all the years that I've been a Bahamian and alive, where you have gospel artists on Rake and Scrape, and what they call secular. I don't really like to use the word secular, because I look at it as more cultural.
That's what it is.
Right. But at the end of the day, just like Clint has said, you can come out and you can enjoy. So I think the pull would be the persons who would come out to see the Lawrence Rule and Simeon out, and I believe that's a whole demographic of persons who would not have probably come out.
Correct.
Because they would have, you know, how our church life going to Bahamas, and people say to the show, you're secular, you backslide.
Can I say this? A lot of those religious people, they come to me in the airport and they say, KB, don't mind me, I listen to you now.
Of course.
And they love the music.
We got to support our own.
Thank you very much.
Saturday's a place to be. Make sure you're out there and Saturday.
Come early.
Tomorrow night, I'm in Grand Bahama. The show will be live from Grand Bahama tomorrow night. We have a big story historic brewing in Grand Bahama. I'm going to bring that to you tomorrow night. So we'll see you for the rundown in Freeport tomorrow night. That does it for the rundown. Coming up next is 11 o'clock news. Preparing for the 11 o'clock news, Royston Jones is in the house. So make sure you get your last news of the day with Royston Jones. And of course, that does it for us tonight. On behalf of all of us, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.